Rhythm versus disruption. Life moves in patterns, yet progress often comes through their interruption. This fundamental tension between rhythm and disruption shapes everything from our daily routines to the grand arc of human civilization. Understanding this dynamic helps us navigate personal growth, social change, and the ever-evolving landscape of human experience. Our bodies themselves tell the story of this relationship. The steady rhythm of heartbeat and breath maintains life, yet the heart must also adapt to sudden changes in activity or stress. Our sleep-wake cycles follow natural circadian rhythms, but innovation and creativity often emerge from disrupting these patterns. Even our brains operate through a combination of regular neural rhythms and sudden bursts of novel connections. Consider how this plays out in nature. Ecosystems maintain delicate rhythms through seasonal changes, migration patterns, and reproductive cycles. Yet evolution itself progresses through disruptions, sudden environmental changes or genetic mutations that break established patterns and create new possibilities. The Earth's climate follows complex rhythmic patterns, but significant evolutionary advances often coincide with periods of disruption. In human society, this dynamic becomes even more intricate. Cultural practices develop through rhythmic rituals and traditions passed down through generations. Yet social progress often requires disrupting these very patterns. Think of how civil rights movements disrupt societal rhythms to create positive change, or how artistic breakthroughs often come from breaking established conventions. The modern workplace exemplifies this tension perfectly. Companies need stable routines and processes to function efficiently, yet innovation requires disrupting these patterns to discover new approaches. The most successful organizations find ways to maintain productive rhythms while encouraging constructive disruption. They create stable frameworks that still allow for experimentation and change. Technology has intensified this relationship in unexpected ways. Digital devices can help us maintain productive rhythms through scheduling and reminders, yet they also constantly disrupt our natural patterns with notifications and information flows. Social media platforms create new kinds of rhythms in our social interactions, while simultaneously disrupting traditional patterns of human connection. Consider how this dynamic affects creative work. Artists often need regular practice routines to develop their skills, yet breakthrough creativity frequently comes from disrupting familiar patterns. Writers might maintain daily writing rhythms, but find their best ideas emerge when they break from routine. Musicians master traditional rhythms, but create new genres by disrupting conventional patterns. Education systems struggle with this balance continually. Learning requires regular patterns of study and practice, yet true understanding often comes through moments of disruption, when a new insight breaks through established thought patterns. The best teachers maintain engaging rhythms, while creating space for productive disruption that leads to deeper learning. The scientific community operates through a similar dynamic. Research depends on methodical, rhythmic processes of observation and experimentation. Yet scientific breakthroughs often come through disrupting established theories and methodologies. The history of science is a story of steady rhythms punctuated by revolutionary disruptions that transform our understanding of the world. Even our personal growth follows this pattern. We develop through regular habits and practices, yet significant advances often come through disrupting our comfortable routines. Think of how travel can disrupt our normal patterns and lead to new perspectives, or how life transitions that break established rhythms often drive profound personal development. The digital age has brought new dimensions to this relationship. Remote work disrupts traditional office rhythms while creating new patterns of productivity. Online learning platforms disrupt traditional educational rhythms while establishing new ways of acquiring knowledge. Social movements can now rapidly disrupt societal patterns through viral spread of information and ideas. Yet amid all this disruption, humans still seek rhythm. We create new patterns in our digital interactions, establish routines in our remote work, and develop rituals for our virtual communities. This suggests that rather than opposing forces, rhythm and disruption are complementary aspects of how we function and grow. Consider how this manifests in different domains. In business, successful innovation often comes not from complete chaos, but from structured disruption. creating safe spaces to challenge established patterns while maintaining necessary operational rhythms. Companies might set aside specific times for experimental projects or create innovation labs that operate outside normal organizational patterns. In personal development, growth often comes through intentionally disrupting our routines while maintaining core stabilizing rhythms. Someone might keep a regular meditation practice while experimenting with new learning experiences, or maintain consistent exercise habits while exploring new physical challenges. In relationships, healthy connections often involve both stable patterns of interaction and periodic disruptions that prevent stagnation. Long-term relationships thrive when couples maintain supportive routines while remaining open to new experiences that disrupt comfortable patterns. The arts demonstrate this relationship beautifully. Music builds on rhythmic foundations, but creates interest through strategic disruption. Dance combines regular patterns with moments of surprise. Visual art plays with repetition and interruption to create compelling compositions. Looking toward the future, several factors become increasingly important. Artificial intelligence might help us maintain beneficial rhythms while identifying opportunities for productive disruption. Smart systems could learn our natural patterns and suggest optimal times for both routine activities and pattern-breaking experiences. Environmental challenges require understanding both natural rhythms and the consequences of their disruption. Addressing climate change involves both restoring disrupted natural cycles and intentionally disrupting harmful human patterns. Social evolution in our connected world involves both establishing new global rhythms of interaction and creating space for disruptive innovations in how we organize and collaborate. Healthcare increasingly recognizes the importance of both biological rhythms and strategic disruption in maintaining wellness. Treatments might focus on restoring healthy patterns while using controlled disruptions to promote healing and growth. The key to navigating this dynamic often lies in understanding several principles. First, not all rhythms are beneficial, and not all disruptions are harmful. We need to distinguish between patterns that support growth and those that limit it, between disruptions that create positive change and those that merely create chaos. Second, the relationship between rhythm and disruption often operates at multiple scales simultaneously. Personal routines exist within organizational patterns, which exist within societal rhythms, which exist within natural cycles. Third, timing matters. The same disruption might be destructive or transformative depending on when and how it occurs. Strategic disruption often involves choosing the right moment to break established patterns. Fourth, resilience comes from being able to maintain core rhythms while adapting to and learning from disruption. This capacity for dynamic stability characterizes many successful systems, from ecosystems to organizations to individuals. The most effective approaches often involve consciously working with both forces, creating stable frameworks that can accommodate and benefit from disruption, developing routines that maintain necessary stability while allowing for growth, building systems that can learn from disruption to create new, more effective rhythms, recognizing when to maintain patterns and when to break them. In practice, this might mean establishing strong daily routines while regularly introducing new experiences, building organizational processes that encourage both efficiency and innovation, developing educational approaches that combine structured learning with exploratory discovery, creating social systems that maintain order while allowing for constructive change. As we face increasingly complex challenges, understanding the relationship between rhythm and disruption becomes ever more crucial. Success often comes not from choosing one over the other, but from learning to work with both, knowing when to maintain patterns and when to break them, how to create stability that supports growth, and how to use disruption as a catalyst for positive change. Silence versus sound. In our increasingly noisy world, the relationship between silence and sound takes on new significance. This fundamental contrast shapes not just our physical environment, but our mental states, social interactions, and even our understanding of existence itself. From the quietest meditation room to the bustling city street, the interplay between sound and silence influences how we think, feel, and connect with others. True silence is remarkably rare in human experience. Even in what we consider quiet moments, our world pulses with subtle sounds. The rhythm of breathing, the beat of our hearts, the whisper of wind, or the distant hum of civilization. Yet the pursuit of silence, and our relationship with sound, reveals deep truths about human nature and consciousness. Consider how we experience silence in different contexts. In a library, silence creates space for concentration and learning. In nature, moments of quiet allow us to connect with our environment and ourselves. In relationships, comfortable silence can communicate deeper intimacy than words. Each of these experiences suggests that silence isn't merely the absence of sound, but a presence with its own quality and power. Sound, by contrast, fills our world with information, emotion, and energy. From the warning cry that alerts us to danger to the mother's voice that soothes a child, sound shapes our understanding and experience of reality. Music, perhaps humanity's most deliberate manipulation of sound, can transform emotions, unite communities, and transcend cultural barriers. The modern world has fundamentally altered our relationship with both silence and sound. Urban environments create constant sonic backgrounds that our ancestors never knew. Digital devices fill our spaces with notifications, entertainment, and communication. Even our moments of quiet are often deliberately created through noise-canceling technology, a kind of artificial silence that would have been unimaginable in previous generations. This new sonic landscape affects us in profound ways. Research shows that constant exposure to noise increases stress levels, impairs cognitive function, and disrupts sleep patterns. Yet complete silence can feel uncomfortable or even threatening to people accustomed to constant sonic stimulation. We've created a world where both silence and sound take on new meanings and challenges. The impact extends into every aspect of life. In education, teachers navigate between the productive silence of focused study and the active sound of engaged discussion. Healthcare environments struggle to balance the necessity of medical equipment with patients' need for restorative quiet. Workplaces experiment with open offices and quiet rooms, recognizing that different tasks require different sonic environments. Sound shapes our social connections in fundamental ways. Human speech, with its complex interplay of sounds and silences, carries meaning far beyond the words themselves. The timing of silence in conversation, the tone of voice, the rhythm of dialogue. These elements form the foundation of human communication. Even in our digital age, voice remains a powerful tool for conveying emotion and building relationships. Yet silence also plays a crucial role in human connection. Shared silence can create intimacy that words cannot reach. Think of friends comfortable enough to sit quietly together, or the powerful silence that follows profound music or theater. These moments demonstrate that absence of sound can facilitate presence of meaning. The relationship between silence and sound manifests differently across cultures. Some traditions place high value on silence in social interactions, seeing it as a sign of respect or wisdom. Others celebrate sound as a vital expression of life and community. Sacred spaces around the world recognize the power of both, from the reverent silence of meditation halls to the resonant chants of ceremonies. Modern technology brings new dimensions to this relationship. Digital communication often removes sound entirely, replacing it with text and images. Yet voice messages and video calls attempt to restore the sonic dimension of human connection. Social media creates new kinds of noise, not audible sound but a constant stream of information and stimulation that can overwhelm like any loud environment. Artists have long explored the boundaries between silence and sound. John Cage's famous composition, 4 minutes 33 seconds, asks performers and audience to experience the sounds present in supposed silence. Visual artists create works that suggest sound through imagery, while sound artists sculpt experiences using both presence and absence of sound. These explorations reveal the complex interplay between what we hear and what we don't. The natural world demonstrates its own patterns of sound and silence. Dawn and dusk chorus frame the day with surges of animal sound. Seasons bring different sonic landscapes, from summer's vibrant noise to winter's muffled quiet. Even the oceans contain complex layers of sound that scientists are only beginning to understand. Looking toward the future, several factors will shape our relationship with silence and sound. Increasing urbanization creates new challenges for finding quiet spaces, while raising questions about the right to silence as a public good. Smart city design must consider the sonic environment as crucial to human well-being. Virtual and augmented reality technologies offer new ways to manipulate our sonic experience. We might soon have unprecedented control over what we hear and don't hear in our personal space. Environmental concerns highlight the impact of human-generated noise on natural ecosystems. Understanding and protecting natural sonic environments becomes part of larger conservation efforts. Healthcare advances reveal more about how sound and silence affect human health. From the healing properties of certain sounds to the importance of quiet for recovery, medical science increasingly recognizes sonic environment as a health factor. The deepest insights often emerge from understanding how silence and sound work together. In music, the spaces between notes are as important as the notes themselves. Silence gives sound its structure and meaning. In communication, knowing when not to speak can be as powerful as knowing what to say. Effective dialogue requires both voice and pause. In personal development, alternating periods of stimulation and quiet often leads to better learning and growth than either alone. This relationship affects different aspects of life in unique ways. Mental health professionals recognize both the therapeutic value of silence and the healing power of sound. Different conditions might call for quiet contemplation or active sound engagement. Educational approaches increasingly consider the sonic environment's impact on learning. Some students focus better with background sound, others need complete quiet, and many benefit from alternating between the two. Creative processes often require both generative noise and reflective silence. Artists and innovators learn to work with both states. The balance becomes particularly important in workplace design, where different tasks and personalities require different sonic environments. Urban planning, which must consider both community interaction and individual peace. Healthcare settings, balancing medical necessity with patient comfort. Educational spaces, supporting both collaborative discussion and focused study. Understanding this relationship helps us design better physical spaces that support both interaction and reflection, create more effective communication strategies that use both sound and silence, develop personal practices that leverage both states for growth and well-being, build communities that respect both the need for expression and the right to quiet. As we move forward, several considerations become crucial, recognizing silence and sound as equally important aspects of human experience. Understanding how different individuals and cultures relate to sonic environments. Developing technologies that help us manage our sonic landscape effectively. Creating social structures that support both community sound and individual quiet. In conclusion, silence and sound represent not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of human experience. Success in many areas comes from understanding how to work with both, knowing when to speak and when to listen, how to use sound effectively and how to appreciate silence, and how to create environments that support both expression and reflection. As we face increasingly complex and noisy modern challenges, this understanding becomes ever more crucial for personal well-being, social harmony, and environmental health. Power versus vulnerability. Power and vulnerability represent two fundamental states of human existence that we often consider opposites, yet their relationship reveals surprising complexity and interdependence. This dynamic shapes everything from personal relationships to leadership styles, from emotional health to social structures. Power represents the ability to influence, control, and shape circumstances. It manifests as physical strength, social influence, emotional resilience, or institutional authority. When we think of power, we often imagine the capacity to act independently, to protect ourselves, or to achieve our goals. It's the force that allows us to create change, maintain boundaries, and navigate challenges. Consider how power appears in various contexts. In leadership roles, it's the authority to make decisions and guide others. In personal relationships, it might be emotional strength or financial independence. In social situations, power can manifest as confidence, expertise, or the ability to influence others' opinions and actions. Vulnerability, often seen as power's opposite, represents openness to experience, willingness to connect, and authenticity in self-expression. It's the state of being emotionally available, admitting uncertainty, or acknowledging needs. While traditionally viewed as weakness, vulnerability increasingly reveals itself as a source of profound strength and connection. The relationship between power and vulnerability creates fascinating dynamics in different aspects of life. Effective leaders often find their greatest influence comes from showing appropriate vulnerability rather than just displaying strength. Strong relationships typically require both partners to balance protective power with vulnerable openness. Modern understanding has transformed how we view this relationship. Research shows that vulnerability often enhances rather than diminishes leadership. Emotional intelligence requires both strength and openness. Authentic connection demands balancing protection with accessibility. This dynamic plays out differently across various domains. In personal relationships, the strongest bonds often form when both parties feel safe enough to be vulnerable. In professional settings, effective leadership combines clear authority with authentic humanity. In therapeutic contexts, healing requires both personal strength and willingness to be vulnerable. The business world increasingly recognizes this interplay. Modern leadership styles emphasize authentic connection. Team building requires psychological safety alongside clear structure. Innovation often emerges from environments that balance support with challenge. Educational settings demonstrate these principles. Teachers balance authority with approachability. Students need both confidence and willingness to learn. Learning itself requires strength to face challenges and vulnerability to admit uncertainty. The digital age brings new dimensions. Social media creates new forms of both power and vulnerability. Online communities balance protection with connection. Digital communication affects how we express both strength and openness. Different cultures approach this balance differently. Some emphasize power structures and authority. Others value vulnerable connection and openness. Many seek ways to honor both aspects of human experience. The future of this relationship faces new challenges, changing workplace dynamics requiring new leadership approaches. Social movements balancing empowerment with authentic expression. Global challenges demanding both strength and collaborative vulnerability. Professional development increasingly recognizes both elements. Career advancement requiring both confidence and learning stance. Leadership development emphasizing authentic influence. Success depending on balancing authority with accessibility. Personal growth involves similar dynamics. Building self-confidence while maintaining openness. Developing emotional strength while staying connected. Finding security while remaining genuine. Modern relationships navigate this balance. Partners sharing both strength and vulnerability. Families balancing protection with openness. Friendships requiring both support and authenticity. The mental health field emphasizes this relationship. Therapy combining empowerment with emotional openness. Healing requiring both inner strength and vulnerability. Growth emerging from balanced self-expression. Social movements demonstrate these principles. Activism requiring both power and authentic expression. Change emerging from both strength and shared vulnerability. Progress depending on balancing force with connection. The arts reveal this dynamic. Creative expression combining confidence with openness. Performance balancing skill with emotional authenticity. Artistic growth requiring both mastery and vulnerability. Looking toward the future, several factors become crucial. Developing leadership styles that honor both aspects. Building relationships that support balanced expression. Creating cultures that value both strength and openness. The balance affects various life areas. Personal development through integrated expression. Professional growth with authentic influence. Social connection through balanced interaction. Modern society faces particular challenges. Rapid change requiring both stability and adaptability. Complex problems needing both strength and collaboration. Social progress demanding both power and vulnerability. Success often depends on understanding context for appropriate expression, developing range in both areas, maintaining authenticity while exercising judgment, The art of balance involves recognizing when to show strength or vulnerability, developing skills in both domains, finding personal comfort with both states. In conclusion, power and vulnerability represent complementary aspects of human experience rather than opposing forces. True strength often emerges from the courage to be vulnerable, while authentic vulnerability requires a foundation of inner power. Success in many areas comes from understanding how to balance both, knowing when to exercise power and when to show vulnerability, how to maintain boundaries while staying open, and how to build influence through authentic connection. As we face increasingly complex personal and social challenges, this balance becomes ever more crucial for effective leadership, meaningful relationships, and personal growth. Origin versus evolution. The tension between where we come from and what we become shapes every aspect of human existence. This fundamental relationship between origin and evolution influences not just biological development, but cultural identity, technological progress, and personal growth. It raises essential questions about authenticity, progress, and the nature of change itself. Origins represent our starting points, the foundations from which all change emerges. They appear in our genetic inheritance, cultural heritage, early experiences, and founding principles. Like the roots of a tree, origins provide stability and nourishment while anchoring us in something deeper than ourselves. They give us context, identity, and a sense of belonging in an ever-changing world. Consider how origins manifest in different domains. In families, genetic and cultural inheritance shapes everything from physical characteristics to behavioral tendencies. In societies, founding myths and principles continue to influence development centuries later. In technology, initial breakthroughs often determine the direction of future innovations. Even in art, an artist's early influences often remain visible throughout their creative evolution. Yet evolution represents an equally powerful force. It's the process of transformation, adaptation, and growth that takes us beyond our starting points. Evolution isn't just about change, it's about the systematic development of new capabilities, perspectives, and ways of being. Through evolution, origins become launching pads rather than limiting factors. The relationship between origin and evolution creates fascinating dynamics in various aspects of life. Take language, for instance. Each language has deep historical roots that ground its basic structure and vocabulary. Yet languages constantly evolve, incorporating new words, shifting meanings, and adapting to changing social needs. The most vibrant languages maintain their essential character while embracing necessary change. This dynamic appears particularly clearly in cultural identity. Immigrants and their descendants often navigate between preserving their cultural origins and adapting to new environments. This isn't simply a choice between tradition and change. It's about finding ways to evolve while maintaining meaningful connections to origins. The most successful adaptations often involve integrating both elements into something new, yet authentic. The business world demonstrates this relationship in action. Companies must honor their founding principles and core values while evolving to meet changing market demands. Some of the most successful organizations maintain strong connections to their origins while fostering continuous innovation. Think of how technology companies might preserve their founding mission while dramatically evolving their products and services. Modern technology itself embodies this dynamic. Each new development builds upon original discoveries and principles, yet the evolution of technology often leads to applications that its originators could never have imagined. The smartphone evolved from basic communication devices, yet its current capabilities would seem magical to its earliest developers. The scientific understanding of biological evolution provides interesting insights into this relationship. Natural selection works with existing genetic material. Origins matter profoundly. Yet the process of evolution can produce remarkable transformations over time. Each species carries its evolutionary history within its current form, demonstrating how origins and evolution intertwine. Personal development particularly highlights this dynamic. Our early experiences and inherited characteristics provide the foundation for who we are, Yet personal growth often involves transcending these initial conditions. The most profound personal evolution often comes from understanding our origins deeply enough to consciously choose how to grow beyond them. Education systems struggle with this balance continuously. They must transmit accumulated knowledge and cultural heritage while preparing students for a rapidly evolving future. Effective education honors origins, both of knowledge and of students themselves, while fostering the ability to evolve and adapt. The arts demonstrate this relationship beautifully. Artists often begin by mastering traditional forms and techniques, their artistic origins. Yet creative evolution involves moving beyond these foundations to develop unique voices and new forms of expression. The most innovative artists often show deep understanding of their artistic heritage, even as they transform it. Looking toward the future, several factors become increasingly important. Technological advancement accelerates evolution while raising questions about preserving valuable origins. Digital technology can help preserve cultural heritage, even as it transforms how we live and work. Environmental challenges require understanding both natural origins and evolutionary processes. Addressing climate change involves both returning to sustainable practices and developing new solutions. Social changes create pressure to reevaluate origins while fostering positive evolution. Movements for social justice often involve examining historical origins while promoting evolutionary change. The relationship between origin and evolution affects different domains uniquely. In healthcare, genetic origins influence treatment approaches, yet medical knowledge continuously evolves. Personalized medicine increasingly considers both inherited factors and adaptive responses. In urban development, cities must preserve historical character while evolving to meet new needs. Successful urban evolution often involves integrating new elements while maintaining connection to origins. In personal relationships, understanding our emotional origins helps us evolve healthier patterns. Growth often comes from recognizing inherited patterns while developing new ways of connecting. Modern challenges bring new dimensions to this dynamic. Digital technology allows unprecedented preservation of origins, from genetic data to cultural artifacts, while accelerating evolutionary change. Global connectivity exposes people to diverse origins while fostering rapid cultural evolution. Online communities create new forms of cultural transmission and transformation. Artificial intelligence raises questions about both technological origins and potential evolution. AI systems demonstrate how initial programming influences, yet doesn't entirely determine development. Understanding this relationship helps in various areas. Personal development. Recognizing how origins influence without determining destiny. Using self-knowledge as a foundation for growth. Finding authentic ways to evolve. Professional growth. Building on existing skills while developing new capabilities. Maintaining core values through career evolution. Adapting to change while preserving valuable experience. Social progress. Acknowledging historical influences while fostering positive change. Preserving cultural heritage while embracing diversity. Creating inclusive evolution that respects various origins. The key often lies in understanding several principles. Origins provide context and foundation, but need not limit growth. The most powerful evolution often comes from deeply understanding our starting points. Evolution doesn't erase origins, but transforms their expression. Successful adaptation often involves reinterpreting rather than rejecting origins. Both forces contribute to authenticity. True authenticity comes from neither clinging to origins nor rejecting them, but from conscious evolution that honors its roots. Looking ahead, several considerations become crucial. Developing ways to preserve valuable origins while fostering necessary evolution. Creating systems that support both stability and transformation. Building understanding between those emphasizing different aspects of this dynamic. The relationship affects how we approach various challenges. Environmental issues, returning to sustainable origins while developing new solutions. Preserving natural heritage while adapting to change. Finding balance between restoration and innovation. Social change, understanding historical influences on current conditions, promoting evolution while respecting diverse origins, creating inclusive approaches to transformation, technological development, building on fundamental discoveries while pushing boundaries, maintaining human values through technological evolution, creating innovations that enhance rather than erase origins. In conclusion, origin and evolution represent complementary forces that shape development and progress. Success in many areas comes from understanding how to work with both, knowing how to honor origins while embracing evolution, how to use foundations as launching pads rather than limitations, and how to create authentic transformation that carries forward the best of what came before. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this understanding becomes ever more crucial for sustainable progress and meaningful growth. Movement versus stillness. Have you ever watched a leaf floating on a pond? The surface might ripple with constant motion while deeper waters remain perfectly still. This simple image captures something profound about the nature of existence, the eternal dance between movement and stillness that shapes every aspect of our lives. We live in a world obsessed with movement. Our phones buzz constantly, social media feeds scroll endlessly, and the pressure to be productive never seems to cease. Keep moving forward has become the mantra of our age. Yet in this rush of perpetual motion, we might be missing something vital about the nature of progress and growth. Think about how a tree grows. While its leaves dance in the wind and its branches reach ever upward, its deepest growth happens in moments of apparent stillness. The strongest trees put down deep roots in quiet soil. They weather storms not through constant motion, but through a kind of rooted stillness that gives their movement meaning and strength. The same principle appears in human development. A child learning to walk alternates between bursts of movement and moments of complete stillness. Watch carefully, and you'll see how each pause allows for integration, each moment of stillness preparing for the next surge forward. It's not continuous motion that leads to mastery, but this rhythmic dance between movement and rest. In the arts, this relationship reveals itself with particular beauty. A dancer's power comes not just from movement, but from those precise moments of stillness that frame and give meaning to their motion. Musicians know that music isn't just about the notes, it's about the silence between them. Each rest is as crucial as each sound in creating the full experience of a piece. But our modern world seems to have forgotten the value of stillness. We've created a culture that equates stillness with stagnation, rest with laziness. Social media platforms are designed to keep us scrolling, algorithms constantly pushing new content to maintain our motion. Even our rest often involves movement. Television shows that autoplay, endless feeds to scroll through, notifications that demand immediate response. What happens to our minds in this environment of perpetual motion? Neuroscience gives us interesting insights. Our brains actually do some of their most important work during periods of apparent stillness. When we stop constant active processing, our default mode network activates, allowing for deeper integration of experiences and more creative connections between ideas. Those moments of stillness aren't empty. They're rich with internal movement we can't consciously perceive. Consider how innovation really happens. While we might picture a constant forward rush of progress, breakthrough insights often come in moments of stillness. Einstein's theory of relativity didn't emerge from frantic activity, but from quiet contemplation of what it might be like to ride alongside a beam of light. The most profound innovations often require stepping back from constant motion to find a deeper kind of movement. This pattern appears throughout nature. The surface of the ocean might churn with waves, but deep below, currents move with a different kind of rhythm. Ecosystems maintain their balance through an intricate dance of activity and rest. Even the smallest living cell alternates between periods of intense activity and relative quiet. In human relationships, we see this same dynamic. The deepest connections often form not in constant activity, but in moments of shared stillness. Think about sitting quietly with someone you love. There's a kind of movement happening there, a deepening of understanding that doesn't require physical motion or even words. Athletes understand this relationship intuitively. Peak performance isn't about constant motion, but about finding perfect stillness within movement. A quarterback in the moment before a throw, a golfer addressing the ball, a martial artist preparing to strike. Each finds a point of absolute stillness from which powerful movement can emerge. The business world is slowly beginning to recognize this truth. Companies that once prided themselves on constant activity are discovering the value of pause and reflection. Innovation labs build in periods of quiet contemplation. Leaders learn that strategic stillness can be more powerful than constant action. Yet finding true stillness in our modern world isn't easy. Our devices keep us in constant motion, our schedules packed with activities, our minds racing with endless to-do lists. We've created environments that make stillness feel almost impossible to achieve. But perhaps we're thinking about stillness wrong. True stillness isn't about forcing ourselves to stop all motion. It's about finding a different kind of movement, a deeper rhythm that can only emerge when we step back from constant activity. It's like the difference between standing in rushing water and floating peacefully in a calm pool. Both involve relationship with water, but they create very different experiences. This understanding has profound implications for how we approach personal growth and development. Instead of pushing constantly forward, we might learn to value those moments of integration and reflection. Rather than seeing stillness as empty time to be filled, we could recognize it as a fertile space where deeper movement happens. Education could be transformed by this understanding. Instead of packing every moment with active learning, we might create space for quiet reflection and integration. Students could learn to value both active engagement and contemplative stillness, understanding how each contributes to true learning. The same principles apply to creativity and innovation. Rather than forcing constant production, we might recognize how periods of apparent stillness feed into creative breakthroughs. The fallow field isn't unproductive, it's regenerating for future growth. As we look toward the future, this relationship between movement and stillness becomes even more crucial. Environmental challenges require us to reconsider our addiction to constant motion. Social problems need solutions that emerge from deeper understanding rather than just rapid response. Personal well-being depends on finding balance between activity and rest. The digital age brings both challenges and opportunities in this regard. While technology often pushes us toward constant motion, it also offers new tools for finding meaningful stillness. Apps for meditation, spaces for digital detox, technologies that help us monitor and regulate our patterns of activity and rest. These could help us navigate toward healthier rhythms. The key isn't choosing between movement and stillness, but understanding how they work together. Like breathing in and breathing out, each supports and enables the other. The most effective action often emerges from moments of stillness, while the deepest stillness contains its own kind of movement. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this understanding becomes ever more valuable. Solutions to our biggest problems won't come from constant motion alone, but from finding those points of stillness where deeper insight can emerge. Personal growth, social progress, and environmental sustainability all require us to master this dance between movement and rest. In the end, perhaps wisdom lies in learning to recognize different kinds of movement and different qualities of stillness. Not all motion is progress, and not all stillness is stagnation. The art of living might be found in learning to dance between these states, finding the right rhythm for each moment, each challenge, each phase of growth. Infinity versus limitation. The tension between infinity and limitation shapes our understanding of possibility and reality. This fundamental contrast influences how we view human potential, natural resources, technological progress, and even our own lives. It's a dynamic that challenges us to dream boundlessly while working within practical constraints. Infinity represents the endless, the boundless, the unlimited. It's the mathematical concept that extends beyond any countable number, the cosmic expanse that stretches beyond our vision, and the human potential that seems to know no bounds. When we think of infinity, we imagine endless possibilities, unlimited growth, and the vastness of space and time. Consider how the concept of infinity appears in various domains. In mathematics, it's a fundamental principle that helps us understand sequences, series, and continuous functions. In astronomy, It manifests in our contemplation of endless space and countless stars. In human ambition, it shows up as our endless drive to achieve, create, and explore. Limitation, by contrast, represents the finite, the bounded, the constrained. It appears in physical resources, human capabilities, and natural systems. These boundaries aren't just restrictions. They often provide the framework within which creative solutions emerge. Just as a sonnet's strict form can inspire poetic brilliance, limitations can spark innovation and ingenuity. The relationship between infinity and limitation creates fascinating dynamics in our lives. Consider how technology pushes against natural limitations while operating within physical laws, or how human creativity seems boundless, yet must work through finite means of expression. This interplay shapes how we approach challenges and opportunities. Modern society encounters this tension in unique ways. Digital technology offers seemingly infinite information, while human attention remains limited. Economic growth strives for endless expansion within finite resources. Human knowledge expands continuously, while individual expertise has bounds. Different fields navigate this dynamic distinctively. Science explores infinite possibilities through finite experiments. Art expresses boundless creativity through limited mediums. Technology pushes limitations while operating within physical constraints. The business world demonstrates this relationship clearly. Companies seek unlimited growth within market constraints. Innovation pushes boundaries while working with limited resources. Development balances ambitious vision with practical limitations. Education faces similar challenges. Knowledge seems infinite while learning capacity has limits. Teaching balances boundless curiosity with focused study. Students navigate between unlimited potential and practical constraints. The digital age brings new dimensions. Virtual spaces offer seemingly infinite possibilities. Physical infrastructure faces real-world limitations. Digital storage grows while access speed remains bounded. Environmental concerns highlight this tension. Infinite human desires meet finite planetary resources. Sustainable solutions must acknowledge natural limits. Innovation seeks unlimited progress within ecological bounds. Personal development reflects this dynamic. Individual potential seems boundless. Physical and temporal limitations exist. Growth occurs within natural constraints. The future relationship between infinity and limitation faces new challenges. Technological advancement pushing natural boundaries. Resource management requiring acknowledgement of limits. Human ambition meeting physical realities. Different cultures approach this balance differently. Some emphasize pushing beyond limitations. Others focus on working within bounds. Many seek harmony between ambition and acceptance. The scientific perspective offers insights. Quantum mechanics reveals fundamental limitations. Cosmic expansion suggests infinite space. Biology shows both limitations and adaptability. Mathematical understanding deepens this relationship. Infinite series can have finite sums. Bounded systems can generate unlimited complexity. Fractals demonstrate infinite detail within finite space. Philosophical implications emerge. Questions about human potential and limitations. Understanding of finite existence and infinite possibility. Relationship between physical and conceptual bounds. Modern technology navigates these waters. Digital systems pushing processing limits. Storage capacity growing while speed remains bounded. Virtual reality creating new kinds of infinity. Creative expression demonstrates this tension. Endless possibilities within chosen mediums. Technical limitations spurring innovation. Infinite variations within finite forms. Professional growth involves both aspects. Career potential seeming boundless. Practical limitations requiring focus. Development occurring within constraints. Social progress reflects this dynamic. Infinite human potential meeting systemic limitations. Change pushing boundaries while acknowledging constraints. Innovation working within existing frameworks. The future holds new considerations. Artificial intelligence approaching computational limits. Space exploration testing human boundaries. Resource management requiring acceptance of limitations. Looking ahead, several factors become crucial. Balancing ambition with realistic constraints. finding creativity within limitations, understanding both possibility and practicality. The relationship affects various life areas: personal goals balancing dreams with reality, professional development acknowledging limits while pursuing growth, social change pushing boundaries thoughtfully. Modern society faces particular challenges: resource allocation within finite systems, technological progress meeting physical limits, human ambition confronting natural boundaries. Success often depends on understanding real limitations, finding opportunity within constraints, balancing vision with practicality. The art of balance involves recognizing genuine limitations, pushing boundaries thoughtfully, creating within constraints. In conclusion, infinity and limitation represent complementary aspects of reality rather than opposing forces. Success in many areas comes from understanding both, knowing when to push boundaries and when to work within them, how to dream boundlessly while acting practically, and how to find creative freedom within natural constraints. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this balance becomes ever more crucial for sustainable progress and meaningful achievement. Competition versus cooperation. When to believe and when to question. This fundamental tension shapes how we navigate relationships, pursue knowledge, and make decisions in an increasingly complex world. The balance between trust and skepticism influences everything from our personal connections to our understanding of truth itself. Trust represents our capacity to believe in others, accept information, and place faith in processes or systems. It's the force that enables cooperation, builds relationships, and allows society to function smoothly. When we trust, we open ourselves to possibilities, create bonds with others, and operate with greater efficiency and confidence. Consider how trust manifests in daily life. We trust doctors with our health, banks with our money, and friends with our secrets. This trust isn't blind faith, but a reasoned confidence based on evidence, experience, and social systems. Trust allows us to build upon others' knowledge rather than verifying everything personally, enabling progress and collaboration that would be impossible in a state of constant doubt. Skepticism, on the other hand, represents our capacity for critical thinking and questioning. It's not cynicism or automatic doubt, but rather a thoughtful examination of claims and evidence. Healthy skepticism protects us from deception, drives scientific inquiry, and helps us make better decisions. It's the voice that asks, "How do we know this?" and "What evidence supports this claim?" The relationship between trust and skepticism is complex and dynamic. They aren't opposites so much as complementary tools for understanding and navigating reality. Just as too much trust can lead to gullibility, excessive skepticism can result in paralysis or isolation. The key lies in finding the right balance for each situation. This balance plays out differently across various domains. In science, skepticism drives the questioning that leads to discovery, while trust in established methods and peer review allows knowledge to build systematically. Scientists must be skeptical of results while trusting in the scientific method itself. In relationships, trust creates the foundation for intimacy and cooperation, while healthy skepticism helps us set boundaries and make wise choices about whom to trust. The strongest relationships often combine deep trust with open communication about doubts and concerns. In the digital age, this dynamic takes on new importance. The internet provides unprecedented access to information, but also to misinformation. Social media connects us but can also deceive us. We must balance the convenience of trusting online systems with skepticism about their content and motives. Modern challenges make this balance increasingly crucial. The spread of misinformation requires careful evaluation of sources. Complex global systems demand both trust in expertise and skeptical examination. Rapid technological change creates new questions about what and whom to trust. The medical field illustrates this dynamic perfectly. Patients must trust their healthcare providers while remaining informed and asking questions about their care. Doctors combine trust in established treatments with skepticism that drives research and improvement. Education similarly balances these forces. Students need to trust their teachers and textbooks while developing critical thinking skills. Good education builds trust in reliable sources while teaching students to question and verify information independently. The business world demonstrates these principles in action. Companies build trust through consistent performance and transparency. Investors combine trust in markets with skeptical analysis of opportunities. Consumers balance brand trust with skeptical evaluation of claims. The digital revolution brings new dimensions to this relationship. Online transactions require trust in digital systems. Social media demands constant evaluation of authenticity. Digital security depends on both trusted systems and vigilant skepticism. Professional relationships navigate this balance constantly. Team members must trust each other while maintaining accountability. Leaders build trust while encouraging constructive questioning. Mentorship combines trusted guidance with independent thinking. Personal development involves both elements. Self-trust provides confidence for action. Self-skepticism enables growth and improvement. Balance creates authentic self-awareness. The future of this relationship faces new challenges. Artificial intelligence raises questions about automated trust. Global connectivity requires trust across cultural boundaries. Environmental challenges demand trust in collective action. Different cultures approach this balance differently. Some emphasize social trust and harmony. Others value individual skepticism and verification. Many seek ways to combine both approaches effectively. The scientific method itself embodies this balance. Trust in established principles and methods. Skeptical examination of new claims and evidence. Systematic verification of results. Modern media requires careful navigation, trust in reliable sources while questioning claims. Skeptical evaluation of news and information. Balance between staying informed and avoiding manipulation. Technology brings new considerations. Digital systems requiring both trust and verification. Automated processes needing human oversight. Privacy concerns balancing convenience with caution. Looking toward the future, several factors become important. Developing tools for verification while maintaining efficiency. Building trustworthy systems that welcome scrutiny. Creating cultures that balance trust with healthy skepticism. The relationship affects how we approach various situations. Personal choices balancing intuition with analysis. Professional decisions combining experience with verification. Social interactions mixing openness with appropriate caution. Modern society faces particular challenges. Information overload requiring trusted filters. Complex systems demanding specialized knowledge. Global challenges needing coordinated trust and verification. The way forward involves several key elements. Building trustworthy institutions that welcome questioning. Developing individual skills in both trust and skepticism. Creating systems that balance efficiency with verification. In conclusion, trust and skepticism represent complementary tools for understanding and navigating reality. Success in many areas comes from knowing when and how to apply each. When to trust and when to question. How to verify without paralysis. And how to build confidence while maintaining healthy doubt. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this balance becomes ever more crucial for personal growth, professional success, and societal progress. Surface versus depth. What lies beneath what we see? This question has intrigued humans throughout history, driving us to look beyond appearances and explore deeper meanings. The relationship between surface and depth shapes how we understand everything from personal relationships to scientific inquiry, from artistic expression to self-knowledge. The surface represents what's immediately apparent, the first impressions, obvious patterns, and visible characteristics that we can observe without deeper investigation. It's the smile on someone's face, the glossy cover of a book, the peaceful appearance of a lake, or the polished presentation of a business proposal. Surface features are what we encounter first, and they often serve important purposes in helping us navigate the world quickly and efficiently. Consider how surface appearances function in daily life. We use visual cues to make quick decisions about safety, social interactions, and basic choices. The clean appearance of a restaurant suggests good hygiene. Professional dress indicates business competence. and organized presentation materials suggest thorough preparation. These surface-level observations help us make necessary judgments efficiently. But depth reveals what lies beneath these immediate appearances, the underlying structures, hidden meanings, and fundamental truths that require more careful investigation to understand. Just as a peaceful lake surface might conceal complex ecosystems and currents below, human situations and systems often harbor deeper complexities beneath their apparent simplicity. The relationship between surface and depth is particularly fascinating in human interactions. A person's outward behavior might reflect their inner feelings accurately, or it might mask completely different emotions and motivations. A colleague's professional demeanor might conceal personal struggles, while someone's casual appearance might hide extraordinary capabilities and wisdom. Modern society presents unique challenges in navigating between surface and depth. Social media, for instance, often emphasizes surface presentation, carefully curated images and posts that may or may not reflect deeper realities. Professional environments similarly encourage polished surface presentations, while the real work and challenges often happen beneath this visible layer. Consider how this dynamic plays out in different contexts. In education, surface learning might involve memorizing facts and formulas, while depth requires understanding underlying principles and connections. Effective education helps students move beyond surface knowledge to deeper comprehension that enables real application and innovation. In relationships, we might begin with surface attractions and common interests, but lasting connections require deeper understanding and emotional intimacy. The journey from surface acquaintance to deep friendship or love involves gradually discovering and sharing more profound aspects of ourselves. In art and literature, surface aesthetics might capture immediate attention, but enduring works usually offer deeper layers of meaning and insight. A painting's visual appeal might draw us in, but its lasting impact often comes from deeper symbolic significance and emotional resonance. The scientific method itself represents a systematic approach to moving from surface observations to deeper understanding. Scientists begin with observable phenomena, but seek to understand the underlying principles and mechanisms that explain what they see. This process has revealed countless examples of how surface appearances can differ from deeper reality. Consider physics, where the apparently solid surface of matter conceals the mostly empty space between atoms, or biology, where surface characteristics of organisms reflect complex genetic and evolutionary processes. Even in mathematics, simple surface patterns often emerge from deeper structural relationships. The business world demonstrates this relationship clearly. Companies must manage both surface perception, brand image, marketing, customer service, and deeper operational realities. Successful organizations maintain positive surface appearances while ensuring depth of quality, innovation, and organizational health. Psychology offers particular insight into the surface-depth relationship. Our conscious thoughts and behaviors represent the surface of our mental life, while unconscious processes, memories, and emotions operate at deeper levels. Understanding ourselves often requires looking beyond surface reactions to examine deeper patterns and motivations. The digital age has introduced new dimensions to this dynamic. Technology often presents smooth, user-friendly surfaces that mask incredibly complex underlying systems. Our daily interactions with devices and applications rely on this separation between surface simplicity and operational depth. Digital communication can create surface connections while either hindering or enabling deeper relationship development, depending on how we use it. Information abundance makes surface knowledge easily accessible, but can make it harder to develop deeper understanding and wisdom. The challenge for many people lies in developing the ability to navigate both levels effectively, when to accept surface appearances and when to investigate deeper. How to present ourselves authentically while maintaining appropriate surface boundaries. How to develop deeper understanding without getting lost in complexity. How to recognize when surface indicators reflect or mislead about deeper realities. Professional fields often require specific skills in managing this relationship. Doctors must interpret surface symptoms to understand deeper medical conditions. Therapists help clients connect surface behaviors with deeper emotional patterns. Managers balance surface productivity metrics with deeper organizational health. Teachers guide students from surface learning to deeper understanding. The future relationship between surface and depth faces new challenges. Artificial intelligence and automation may handle many surface-level tasks, making deeper human capabilities more important. Environmental challenges require understanding deep systemic relationships beyond surface phenomena. Social challenges need solutions that address root causes rather than surface symptoms. Personal development often involves working with both levels, building self-awareness about how our surface behaviors reflect or hide deeper feelings, developing the capability to present ourselves effectively while maintaining authenticity, learning to read beyond surface appearances in others to understand deeper motivations, finding balance between surface social requirements and deeper personal truth. The relationship between surface and depth also affects how we approach problems and challenges. Some situations require quick surface judgments for efficiency and safety. Others need careful investigation of deeper factors for effective solutions. Wisdom often lies in knowing which level of engagement each situation requires. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. The need for deeper understanding in an increasingly complex world. The value of surface efficiency in managing information abundance. The importance of maintaining authentic connection in a world of surface presentations. Cultural differences add another layer to this dynamic. Different societies may place different values on surface appearance versus depth. Cultural norms influence how people balance personal depth with social surfaces. Global interaction requires understanding how these values vary across cultures. In conclusion, surface and depth represent complementary aspects of reality and human experience. Success in many areas of life requires understanding both levels and knowing how to work with them effectively. Rather than choosing one over the other, wisdom lies in recognizing when to engage with surface appearances and when to investigate deeper meanings. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this ability to navigate between surface and depth becomes ever more crucial for personal growth, professional success, and societal progress. Light versus dark. The contrast between light and dark represents one of humanity's most fundamental ways of understanding the world, shaping not just our physical experience, but our metaphorical comprehension of knowledge, morality, and consciousness. This primal duality influences everything from our daily rhythms to our deepest philosophical insights. Light represents illumination, clarity, and revelation. It's the force that allows us to see and understand, both literally and figuratively. In the physical world, light reveals shapes, colors, and movements, making navigation and interaction possible. Metaphorically, light represents knowledge, understanding, and enlightenment, the clarity that comes with comprehension and insight. Consider how light functions in our daily experience. The rising sun brings activity and energy, making the world visible and accessible. Artificial light extends our capabilities beyond natural daylight, transforming how we live and work. The quality of light shapes our moods, influences our biological rhythms, and affects how we perceive our environment. Darkness, conversely, represents mystery, the unknown, and potential. It's not merely the absence of light, but a presence with its own qualities and significance. Darkness provides rest and renewal, creates space for reflection and dreaming, and holds possibilities not yet revealed. The night sky shows us stars invisible in daylight, while darkness allows our other senses to become more acute. The relationship between light and dark is complex and interdependent. They define each other. We understand light through its contrast with darkness, and darkness through its difference from light. In nature, this interplay creates the daily cycle that governs life on Earth, while the seasonal changes in light and dark influence countless biological processes. This dynamic appears across many domains of human experience. In art, the interplay of light and shadow creates depth, drama, and meaning. Artists use this contrast to guide attention, create mood, and convey symbolic significance. The technique of chiaroscuro demonstrates how the interaction between light and dark can create powerful emotional and visual effects. In architecture, the manipulation of light and shadow shapes spaces and experiences. Designers consider how natural and artificial light interact with structure, to create different atmospheres and functional environments. Sacred spaces often use light particularly effectively, creating experiences that range from awe-inspiring illumination to contemplative darkness. Psychology reveals how deeply this duality affects human consciousness. We associate light with awareness and darkness with the unconscious mind. Dreams emerge from the darkness of sleep, while conscious thought operates in the light of awareness. This metaphorical understanding shapes how we think about personal growth and self-discovery. The modern world brings new dimensions to this relationship. Artificial lighting has transformed our relationship with natural cycles. Digital screens create new forms of illumination and visual experience. Light pollution affects both our view of the night sky and natural ecosystems. Different cultures approach this duality in various ways. Some traditions see light and dark as opposing forces. Others recognize them as complementary aspects of existence. Many incorporate both in their understanding of balance and harmony. The symbolism of light and dark influences many fields. In education, we speak of enlightenment and illuminating ideas. In psychology, we explore both conscious and unconscious aspects of mind. In spirituality, light often represents divine presence or wisdom. Yet this symbolism can sometimes oversimplify. Darkness isn't inherently negative or threatening. Light isn't always beneficial or revealing. Both have necessary roles in natural and human systems. The scientific understanding of light and dark adds depth. Physics reveals the particle and wave nature of light. Biology shows how organisms adapt to different light conditions. Astronomy demonstrates the crucial role of dark matter and energy. The environmental impact of artificial light raises concerns. Disruption of natural cycles affects wildlife and ecosystems. Human health issues arise from constant artificial illumination. Energy consumption for lighting affects climate change. Yet technology also offers solutions. Smart lighting systems that mimic natural cycles, more energy-efficient illumination methods, ways to reduce light pollution while maintaining functionality. The balance between light and dark affects various aspects of life. Physical health. Natural light cycles regulate bodily functions. Darkness is crucial for proper sleep and recovery. Balance between exposure and protection matters. Mental well-being. Both stimulation and rest are necessary. Darkness allows for introspection and processing. Light influences mood and cognitive function. Creative expression. Contrast creates dramatic effect and meaning. Shadow reveals as much as light. Interplay creates depth and nuance. Modern life often disrupts natural patterns. Extended artificial illumination, constant screen exposure, disconnection from natural cycles. Yet we can work to restore balance, creating spaces for both light and dark, respecting natural rhythms, finding value in both illumination and shadow. The future relationship between light and dark faces new challenges. Urban development affecting natural light patterns, digital technology creating new forms of illumination, environmental concerns about energy use and pollution. Looking ahead, several considerations become important. Sustainable lighting solutions, protection of natural dark spaces, balance between convenience and natural cycles. The metaphorical significance continues to evolve. Understanding complexity beyond simple dualism, recognizing value in both illumination and mystery, finding wisdom in the interplay of known and unknown. In conclusion, light and dark represent not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of existence. Success in many areas comes from understanding how to work with both, knowing when to seek illumination and when to embrace darkness, how to create clarity while respecting mystery, and how to find meaning in both revelation and concealment. As we face an increasingly complex future, this understanding becomes crucial for creating balanced and sustainable ways of living. Creation versus discovery. The tension between creation and discovery lies at the heart of human progress and understanding. Are we discovering truths that already exist, or creating new realities through our innovations and insights? This fundamental question shapes how we approach everything from scientific research to artistic expression, from technological innovation to personal growth. Creation represents the act of bringing something new into existence, something that didn't exist before. It's the artist painting an original masterpiece, the composer writing a new symphony, or the entrepreneur developing a revolutionary business model. Creation involves imagination, innovation, and the courage to make something unique. When we create, we add to the world's possibilities, expanding what exists through human ingenuity and vision. Consider how creation manifests in different domains. In technology, engineers create new devices and systems that transform how we live and work. In literature, authors create entire worlds and characters that capture our imagination and offer new perspectives on human experience. In business, entrepreneurs create new products, services, and ways of solving problems that hadn't existed before. Discovery, by contrast, involves finding and understanding what already exists but may have been previously unknown or unrecognized. It's the scientist uncovering natural laws, the explorer finding new territories, or the researcher identifying patterns in data. Discovery reveals the hidden truths and structures that underlie reality, helping us understand the world as it is, rather than inventing something new. The process of discovery appears across many fields. Astronomers discover new planets and celestial phenomena. Archaeologists uncover artifacts and information about past civilizations, and mathematicians discover relationships and patterns that have always existed but weren't previously recognized. Each discovery adds to our understanding of what's already there, waiting to be found. The relationship between creation and discovery is more complex and intertwined than it might first appear. Many great innovations involve both processes, discovering existing principles or patterns, and then creating new applications or expressions based on them. Consider how the Wright brothers discovered principles of aerodynamics and then created the first successful airplane, or how scientists discover genetic mechanisms and create new medical treatments based on this understanding. This interplay becomes particularly evident in scientific research. While science is often seen as primarily about discovery, the process of investigation often involves creating new tools, methods, and frameworks for understanding what we discover. The scientific method itself is a human creation that enables systematic discovery. The technology we create to make discoveries, from microscopes to particle accelerators, represents human creativity in service of exploration and understanding. In the arts, we see a similar dynamic. Artists might discover new techniques or materials while creating original works. A painter might discover how certain pigments interact while creating a new style of expression. A musician might discover mathematical relationships in sound while composing innovative pieces. The act of creation often leads to discovery, just as discoveries can inspire new creations. The digital age has brought new dimensions to this relationship. Computer scientists create algorithms that help us discover patterns in vast amounts of data. Virtual reality technologies create new experiences that help us discover aspects of human perception and psychology. Social media platforms create new ways of connecting that help us discover patterns in human behavior and communication. Education illustrates this duality particularly well. Teachers create lesson plans and learning experiences to help students discover knowledge that already exists. Students, in turn, create their own understanding while discovering established principles and facts. The best education often involves both processes, guided discovery supported by creative teaching approaches. Innovation in business often relies on both creation and discovery. Market research discovers customer needs and preferences, while product development creates solutions to meet those needs. Successful businesses frequently discover existing opportunities and then create new ways to capitalize on them. The modern world presents unique challenges and opportunities in balancing these approaches. Technology enables both faster discovery through data analysis and easier creation through digital tools. This acceleration of both processes creates new possibilities but also raises questions about the relationship between human creativity and machine-assisted discovery and creation. Global connectivity allows discoveries to be shared more quickly and widely, while also enabling collaborative creation across traditional boundaries. Ideas can be discovered, shared, and built upon more rapidly than ever before. Environmental challenges require us to both discover how natural systems work and create sustainable solutions for human development. Success often depends on understanding existing patterns while innovating new approaches. Different fields emphasize these processes differently. Science tends to prioritize discovery, while art emphasizes creation. Engineering often bridges the gap using discoveries to create solutions. However, all fields ultimately involve both processes to some degree. The future relationship between creation and discovery will likely become even more intertwined. Artificial intelligence, for example, both discovers patterns in existing data and creates new solutions based on those patterns. Genetic engineering discovers existing biological mechanisms while creating new possibilities for modification and enhancement. Personal growth also involves both creation and discovery. We discover things about ourselves, our preferences, capabilities, and patterns of behavior, while creating our identity and future path. Therapy often involves discovering underlying patterns while creating new ways of thinking and behaving. Innovation in any field typically involves cycles of both processes. We discover a need or opportunity, create potential solutions, discover what works and what doesn't, and create refined approaches based on these discoveries. This iterative process drives progress in science, technology, art, and human understanding. The balance between creation and discovery also affects how we approach problems and challenges. In research, we might need to create new methods to discover underlying principles or discover existing patterns to create new solutions. In personal development, we discover our strengths and limitations while creating our path forward and the person we want to become. In social progress, we discover existing inequities and problems while creating new approaches to addressing them. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. The role of artificial intelligence in both discovery and creation raises questions about the nature of creativity and innovation. The need for sustainable development requires both discovering how natural systems work and creating new ways to live within them. The acceleration of both processes through technology creates opportunities for rapid progress, but also challenges in managing and integrating new discoveries and creations. In conclusion, creation and discovery represent complementary processes that drive human progress and understanding. Rather than opposing forces, they are partners in how we explore, understand, and shape our world. Success in many fields comes from understanding how to balance and integrate both processes, knowing when to explore and discover what exists, and when to create something new. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this ability to work effectively with both creation and discovery becomes ever more crucial. Expression versus repression. The tension between expressing ourselves fully and controlling our impulses represents one of the most fundamental challenges of human existence. This balance shapes our personal relationships, professional lives, and social interactions, influencing how we navigate between authenticity and appropriate restraint. Expression embodies our natural drive to share our thoughts, feelings, and creative impulses with the world. It's the force that leads to artistic creation, emotional honesty, and open communication. When we express ourselves, we connect with others, release internal pressures, and contribute our unique perspective to the collective human experience. Consider how expression manifests in various forms. Artists channel their visions into paintings, music, or poetry. Activists voice their convictions about social issues. Children naturally express their emotions without filter. This raw, authentic expression can lead to breakthrough insights, deeper connections, and personal growth. However, repression serves an equally important function in human behavior. It represents our ability to control impulses, maintain social boundaries, and function effectively in structured situations. Repression isn't merely the suppression of expression, but rather the thoughtful regulation of when and how we express ourselves. The relationship between expression and repression creates a complex dance in our daily lives. Professional settings often require careful balance between honest communication and appropriate restraint. Personal relationships thrive on authentic expression, while needing boundaries and consideration for others' feelings. Modern society presents unique challenges in managing this balance. Social media encourages constant expression while requiring careful self-monitoring. Professional environments value both authentic leadership and professional restraint. Cultural shifts challenge traditional boundaries while creating new ones. Different contexts demand different balances. Therapy sessions encourage open expression in a controlled environment. Business meetings require regulated expression within professional frameworks. Intimate relationships need both emotional honesty and thoughtful communication. The arts demonstrate this dynamic clearly. Creative expression flourishes within chosen constraints. Artists balance raw emotion with crafted presentation. Artistic traditions combine freedom with disciplined technique. Personal development involves both forces. Emotional growth requires both honest expression and self-control. Learning involves expressing ideas while respecting others' views. Relationships need both openness and appropriate boundaries. The digital age brings new dimensions. Online platforms offer unprecedented expression opportunities. Digital communication requires new forms of self-regulation. Virtual interactions blur traditional expression boundaries. Cultural differences affect this balance. Some societies emphasize emotional restraint. Others value more open expression. Many seek ways to balance cultural norms with individual expression. The workplace navigates this tension constantly. Professional communication balances honesty with diplomacy. Leadership requires both authenticity and appropriate restraint. Team dynamics need both open dialogue and respectful limits. Mental health perspectives highlight important aspects. Healthy expression releases psychological pressure. Appropriate regulation maintains social functioning. Balance supports overall emotional well-being. Education systems face similar challenges, encouraging student voice while maintaining order, developing self-expression skills and self-control, teaching both creativity and discipline. Social movements demonstrate these principles. Protest balances passionate expression with strategic restraint. Activism combines emotional truth with effective communication. Change requires both strong voice and tactical wisdom. Modern media reflects this duality. News organizations balance reporting with responsibility. Entertainment combines artistic freedom with audience consideration. Social platforms navigate between openness and content moderation. Personal relationships require careful balance. Intimate connections need emotional honesty. Family dynamics benefit from thoughtful communication. Friendships thrive on authentic yet considerate interaction. Professional growth involves both elements. Career advancement requires both initiative and discretion. Leadership development balances authenticity with authority. Workplace success needs both voice and judgment. The future of this relationship faces new challenges. Technology creating new expression channels. Social changes affecting acceptable expression norms. Global communication requiring cultural sensitivity. Different fields approach this balance uniquely. Therapy emphasizes safe expression within boundaries. Education balances student voice with classroom management. Business combines innovation with professional standards. The digital revolution brings new considerations. Social media encouraging constant sharing. Online identity requiring careful curation. Virtual communication creating new expression norms. Looking toward the future, several factors become important. Developing healthy expression in digital environments. Building relationships that support authentic communication. Creating cultures that balance freedom with responsibility. The balance affects various aspects of life. Emotional health requiring both release and regulation. Social skills combining authenticity with awareness. Personal growth needing both freedom and structure. Modern society faces particular challenges. Information overload affecting expression choices. Privacy concerns influencing self-disclosure. Cultural shifts changing expression norms. Understanding this relationship helps in personal development through balanced self-expression, professional growth with appropriate communication, social interaction with thoughtful authenticity. Success often depends on reading social context accurately, choosing appropriate expression levels, maintaining authentic voice within bounds. The art of balance involves recognizing appropriate moments for expression, developing healthy regulation skills, maintaining authenticity while respecting boundaries. In conclusion, Expression and repression represent complementary aspects of human behavior rather than opposing forces. Success in many areas comes from understanding how to balance both, knowing when to express freely and when to exercise restraint, how to maintain authenticity while respecting social bounds, and how to contribute our unique voice while considering others. As we face increasingly complex social and technological environments, this balance becomes ever more crucial for personal growth, professional success, and healthy relationships. Trust versus skepticism. When to believe and when to question? This fundamental tension shapes how we navigate relationships, pursue knowledge, and make decisions in an increasingly complex world. The balance between trust and skepticism influences everything from our personal connections to our understanding of truth itself. Trust represents our capacity to believe in others, accept information, and place faith in processes or systems. It's the force that enables cooperation, builds relationships, and allows society to function smoothly. When we trust, we open ourselves to possibilities, create bonds with others, and operate with greater efficiency and confidence. Consider how trust manifests in daily life. We trust doctors with our health, banks with our money, and friends with our secrets. This trust isn't blind faith, but a reasoned confidence based on evidence, experience, and social systems. Trust allows us to build upon others' knowledge, rather than verifying everything personally, enabling progress and collaboration that would be impossible in a state of constant doubt. Skepticism, on the other hand, represents our capacity for critical thinking and questioning. It's not cynicism or automatic doubt, but rather a thoughtful examination of claims and evidence. Healthy skepticism protects us from deception, drives scientific inquiry, and helps us make better decisions. It's the voice that asks, how do we know this? And what evidence supports this claim? The relationship between trust and skepticism is complex and dynamic. They aren't opposites so much as complementary tools for understanding and navigating reality. Just as too much trust can lead to gullibility, excessive skepticism can result in paralysis or isolation. The key lies in finding the right balance for each situation. This balance plays out differently across various domains. In science, skepticism drives the questioning that leads to discovery, while trust in established methods and peer review allows knowledge to build systematically. Scientists must be skeptical of results while trusting in the scientific method itself. In relationships, trust creates the foundation for intimacy and cooperation, while healthy skepticism helps us set boundaries and make wise choices about whom to trust. The strongest relationships often combine deep trust with open communication about doubts and concerns. In the digital age, this dynamic takes on new importance. The internet provides unprecedented access to information, but also to misinformation. Social media connects us, but can also deceive us. We must balance the convenience of trusting online systems with skepticism about their content and motives. Modern challenges make this balance increasingly crucial. The spread of misinformation requires careful evaluation of sources. Complex global systems demand both trust and expertise and skeptical examination. Rapid technological change creates new questions about what and whom to trust. The medical field illustrates this dynamic perfectly. Patients must trust their healthcare providers while remaining informed and asking questions about their care. Doctors combine trust in established treatments with skepticism that drives research and improvement. Education similarly balances these forces. Students need to trust their teachers and textbooks while developing critical thinking skills. Good education builds trust in reliable sources while teaching students to question and verify information independently. The business world demonstrates these principles in action. Companies build trust through consistent performance and transparency. Investors combine trust in markets with skeptical analysis of opportunities. Consumers balance brand trust with skeptical evaluation of claims. The digital revolution brings new dimensions to this relationship. Online transactions require trust in digital systems. Social media demands constant evaluation of authenticity. Digital security depends on both trusted systems and vigilant skepticism. Professional relationships navigate this balance constantly. Team members must trust each other while maintaining accountability. Leaders build trust while encouraging constructive questioning. Mentorship combines trusted guidance with independent thinking. Personal development involves both elements. Self-trust provides confidence for action. Self-skepticism enables growth and improvement. Balance creates authentic self-awareness. The future of this relationship faces new challenges. Artificial intelligence raises questions about automated trust. Global connectivity requires trust across cultural boundaries. Environmental challenges demand trust in collective action. Different cultures approach this balance differently. Some emphasize social trust and harmony. Others value individual skepticism and verification. Many seek ways to combine both approaches effectively. The scientific method itself embodies this balance. Trust in established principles and methods, skeptical examination of new claims and evidence, systematic verification of results. Modern media requires careful navigation. Trust in reliable sources while questioning claims. Skeptical evaluation of news and information. Balance between staying informed and avoiding manipulation. Technology brings new considerations. Digital systems requiring both trust and verification. Automated processes needing human oversight. Privacy concerns balancing convenience with caution. Looking toward the future, several factors become important. Developing tools for verification while maintaining efficiency. Building trustworthy systems that welcome scrutiny. Creating cultures that balance trust with healthy skepticism. The relationship affects how we approach various situations. Personal choices balancing intuition with analysis. Professional decisions combining experience with verification. Social interactions mixing openness with appropriate caution. Modern society faces particular challenges. Information overload requiring trusted filters. Complex systems demanding specialized knowledge. Global challenges needing coordinated trust and verification. The way forward involves several key elements. Building trustworthy institutions that welcome questioning. Developing individual skills in both trust and skepticism. Creating systems that balance efficiency with verification. In conclusion, trust and skepticism represent complementary tools for understanding and navigating reality. Success in many areas comes from knowing when and how to apply each, when to trust and when to question, how to verify without paralysis, and how to build confidence while maintaining healthy doubt. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this balance becomes ever more crucial for personal growth, professional success, and societal progress. Individual versus community. How do we balance personal freedom with collective responsibility? This question lies at the heart of human society, shaping everything from political systems to personal relationships. The tension between individual needs and community welfare represents one of the most fundamental challenges we face as social beings. The individual represents the unique person, with their own dreams, rights, and potential. Each person brings distinct talents, perspectives, and desires to the world. Individual freedom allows for personal growth, creativity, and the pursuit of happiness. It's the foundation of human rights and personal development, enabling people to make choices about their lives and express themselves authentically. Consider how individuality manifests in daily life. A person might choose their career path based on personal passion, develop unique artistic expressions, or make lifestyle choices that differ from societal norms. This independence allows for innovation, diverse perspectives, and personal fulfillment. The community, conversely, represents the collective whole, the groups, societies, and networks that connect individuals. Communities provide support, shared resources, and collective wisdom. They create the context within which individuals can thrive, offering protection, opportunities, and a sense of belonging. Communities appear in many forms: families, neighborhoods, cultural groups, nations, and now even digital networks. Each plays a vital role in human development and well-being. Strong communities foster cooperation, share resources efficiently, and address challenges that individuals cannot tackle alone. The relationship between individual and community is complex and interdependent. Individuals shape their communities through their contributions and choices, while communities influence individual development through their values, opportunities, and constraints. This dynamic creates both tension and synergy. Consider these interactions in various contexts. In education, schools must balance standardized learning with individual needs and talents. The best educational systems support personal growth while preparing students to contribute to society. In workplace settings, organizations need both individual initiative and team cooperation. Success often depends on finding ways to encourage personal excellence while building effective collaboration. In urban planning, cities must provide both private spaces for individual life and public spaces for community interaction. Good design creates environments that support both personal privacy and social connection. The modern world brings new dimensions to this relationship. Social media allows for individual expression while creating new forms of community, though these connections often lack the depth of traditional relationships. Remote work provides more individual autonomy while challenging traditional forms of workplace community. Global connectivity enables individual access to worldwide opportunities while potentially weakening local community bonds. Several common challenges emerge in managing this dynamic. 1. Balancing personal goals with community responsibilities. 2. Maintaining individuality within group settings. 3. Contributing to community while preserving personal boundaries. 4. Finding meaningful connection without losing independence. 5. Navigating different community expectations. Understanding this relationship requires recognizing several key principles. First, that both individual and community are essential for human flourishing. Neither complete independence nor total conformity leads to optimal outcomes. Second, that healthy individuals create stronger communities, while strong communities support individual development. Third, that finding balance requires ongoing adjustment as circumstances and needs change. Fourth, that different situations may require emphasizing either individual or community needs. Practical applications of this understanding appear in various areas. In personal development, individuals can pursue growth while considering how their choices affect and are affected by their communities. In leadership roles, people must balance directing others with respecting individual autonomy and fostering collaboration. In relationship building, understanding this dynamic helps create connections that support both individual growth and shared goals. The modern context presents specific challenges and opportunities. Technology enables greater individual choice, while sometimes isolating people from traditional communities. Urbanization creates new forms of community, while potentially increasing feelings of individual alienation. Global issues require collective action, while respecting individual rights and cultural differences. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. Creating systems that protect individual rights while promoting community welfare. Building communities that celebrate diversity while maintaining cohesion. Developing leadership approaches that balance individual and collective needs. Finding ways to address global challenges through both individual and collective action. The relationship between individual and community also affects how we approach various social issues. Environmental protection requires both individual behavior change and collective action. Public health demonstrates how individual choices impact community welfare, as seen clearly during pandemic responses. Economic systems must balance individual initiative with fair distribution of resources. The digital age brings new dimensions to this dynamic. Online platforms enable individual expression while creating new forms of community. Digital tools can either connect or isolate people from their local communities. Virtual spaces create new opportunities for both individual achievement and collective action. Success in navigating this relationship often depends on several strategies. Developing strong personal boundaries while maintaining community connections. Contributing to community in ways that align with personal values and abilities. Finding communities that support individual growth while benefiting from diverse perspectives. Creating balance between personal time and social engagement. This balance becomes particularly important in different life stages. Young people need to develop individual identity while learning to function in community. Adults must manage family, work, and community responsibilities while maintaining personal well-being. Older individuals often seek to contribute wisdom to community while preserving independence. The relationship between individual and community also influences how we handle challenges. Personal difficulties often require both individual resilience and community support. Social problems need both individual initiative and collective action. Cultural changes emerge from both individual creativity and community evolution. In conclusion, the relationship between individual and community is not a zero-sum game, but a dynamic partnership. By understanding and working with both aspects, we can create societies that support personal growth while fostering strong communities. This balance allows us to address challenges more effectively and create more fulfilling lives for everyone. Memory versus present experience. Every moment we live exists in two distinct realms: the immediate experience of the present and the memory we carry forward. This dual nature of our consciousness shapes how we understand ourselves and interact with the world around us, creating a complex interplay between what is happening now and what we remember. Memory serves as our personal archive, storing not just facts and events, but emotions, sensations, and lessons learned. It's the foundation of our identity, helping us understand who we are based on where we've been and what we've experienced. Our memories shape our expectations, influence our decisions, and color our perception of current events. They're not just recordings of the past, but active participants in how we experience the present. Consider how memory works in everyday life. When you taste a familiar food, it's not just the immediate flavor you experience, but also the memories of previous times you've enjoyed it. Perhaps it reminds you of family dinners, special celebrations, or comfort during difficult times. The actual taste and these remembered associations combine to create your full experience of that moment. Present experience, on the other hand, is immediate and direct. It's the raw sensation of now, the taste of coffee on your tongue, the sound of rain on the roof, the warmth of sunlight on your face. Present experience is unfiltered by reflection or comparison, existing purely in the moment before memory begins to process and store it. This immediacy gives present experience a clarity and intensity that memories often lack. The relationship between memory and present experience is dynamic and complex. Our memories influence how we perceive current events, while our present experiences constantly update and modify our memories. For example, when you visit a place from your childhood, you experience it both through your current sensations and through the lens of your memories. Sometimes these align perfectly, creating a sense of continuity and familiarity. Other times they clash, revealing how much either the place or your perception of it has changed. In our modern world, this relationship faces new challenges and opportunities. Digital technology allows us to capture and store more moments than ever before. Photos, videos, social media posts all create an external memory bank that can influence how we remember and experience events. While these tools can help preserve memories, they can also distract us from fully experiencing the present moment. Consider how people behave at concerts or special events. Many spend significant time capturing photos or videos instead of immersing themselves in the experience. The desire to preserve the memory sometimes compromises the richness of the present moment. This illustrates a common tension between experiencing and recording, between living in the moment and trying to hold on to it. The challenge many people face is finding the right balance between being present and preserving memories. Too much focus on the present can lead to a lack of context and learning from past experiences. Too much emphasis on memory can prevent us from fully engaging with current opportunities and experiences. This balance becomes particularly important in different aspects of life. In relationships, we need both present attention and shared history. Being fully present with someone strengthens connection, while shared memories create depth and understanding. The best relationships often combine mindful presence with rich shared memories. In learning and skill development, we rely on both memory and present focus. Memory provides the foundation of knowledge and experience, while present attention allows us to notice new details and make fresh connections. A musician, for example, relies on remembered skills while staying present to respond to the current moment of performance. In personal growth, we need to learn from past experiences while remaining open to new possibilities. Our memories provide valuable lessons and insights, but too much reliance on past patterns can blind us to new opportunities or keep us stuck in old habits. Finding balance requires developing several key abilities. 1. Mindfulness, the capacity to be fully present in the moment. 2. Healthy memory processing, the ability to learn from past experiences without being controlled by them. 3. Integration, skillfully combining past knowledge with present awareness. 4th, discernment, knowing when to rely on memory and when to focus on present experience. 5. Flexibility, moving smoothly between past wisdom and present opportunity. Practical applications of this understanding can enhance various areas of life. In decision-making, we can draw on past experiences while remaining open to new information and possibilities. This helps us avoid both impulsive choices and rigid adherence to past patterns. In emotional well-being, understanding the relationship between memory and present experience helps us process past events while fully engaging with current life. This is particularly important in healing from difficult experiences or trauma. In creativity, we can use memory as a resource while remaining open to fresh inspiration and new combinations of ideas. Artists often draw on their remembered experiences while staying present to the creative process unfolding in the moment. The modern world presents unique challenges in managing this relationship. Social media and digital technologies can pull us out of present experience while simultaneously creating an overwhelming archive of memories. Finding ways to use these tools without letting them dominate our attention becomes increasingly important. As we look to the future, several considerations become important. Developing practices that support both memory formation and present awareness. Creating healthy relationships with technology that enhance rather than compromise our experience. Building communities and relationships that value both shared history and present connection. Finding ways to learn from the past while remaining open to new possibilities. In conclusion, memory and present experience are not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of how we experience and understand life. Each plays a vital role in our development and well-being. By understanding their relationship and finding ways to work with both effectively, we can create richer, more meaningful lives that honor both our history and our immediate experience of each moment. Knowledge versus wisdom. Two words we often use interchangeably, yet they represent fundamentally different aspects of human understanding. While both are crucial for personal growth and development, their differences reveal important insights about how we learn, grow, and navigate through life. Knowledge is the collection of facts, information, and skills we acquire through experience or education. It's the foundation of human progress and achievement. Think about a student learning mathematics. They accumulate knowledge by memorizing formulas, understanding theorems, and practicing problem-solving techniques. This knowledge is concrete and measurable. We can test it, share it, and build upon it systematically. Consider a doctor who has spent years studying medicine. They've accumulated vast knowledge about human anatomy, diseases, treatments, and medical procedures. They know which medicines treat specific conditions, how to interpret test results, and the proper procedures for various treatments. This knowledge is essential for their practice, but it's only part of what makes them an effective healthcare provider. Knowledge manifests in many forms. It's the programmer who knows multiple coding languages, the historian who can recall dates and events with precision, or the chef who understands the chemical reactions that occur during cooking. This type of understanding is crucial for performing tasks, solving problems, and advancing in our chosen fields. But wisdom goes deeper. It's the ability to apply knowledge effectively, to understand the broader context, and to make sound judgments based on experience and understanding. Wisdom isn't just about knowing facts. It's about understanding their significance and how to use them appropriately in different situations. Returning to our doctor example, wisdom is knowing when to prescribe medication and when to recommend lifestyle changes. It's understanding how to communicate difficult news to patients with empathy, or recognizing when standard procedures might need to be adapted for individual cases. This kind of understanding comes not just from studying, but from experience, reflection, and a deep understanding of human nature. The relationship between knowledge and wisdom is complex and intertwined. Knowledge provides the building blocks, but wisdom determines how to use them effectively. A person might have extensive knowledge about relationship psychology, but wisdom is what helps them maintain healthy relationships in their own life. Similarly, someone might know everything about leadership theory, but wisdom is what makes them an effective leader in practice. In our modern world, we have unprecedented access to knowledge. The internet puts virtually unlimited information at our fingertips. We can learn about any subject through online courses, videos, and digital libraries. But this abundance of information doesn't automatically translate to wisdom. In fact, it sometimes makes wisdom more crucial than ever, as we need to discern what information is valuable and how to apply it meaningfully. The challenge many people face is focusing too much on acquiring knowledge while neglecting the development of wisdom. Students might excel at memorizing facts for exams, but struggle to apply those concepts to real-world situations. Professionals might have impressive credentials, but lack the judgment to navigate complex workplace dynamics effectively. Finding balance between knowledge and wisdom is essential. This balance comes through 1. Seeking out new information and learning opportunities while taking time to reflect on and integrate what we learn. 2. Valuing both formal education and life experience. 3. Recognizing that mistakes and challenges are opportunities for developing wisdom. 4. Understanding that wisdom often comes from applying knowledge in different contexts. 5. Appreciating that some lessons can only come through time and experience. The practical applications of this understanding are vast. In education, it means not just teaching facts, but helping students understand how to apply what they learn. In professional development, it means valuing both technical skills and soft skills like judgment and interpersonal understanding. In personal growth, it means seeking both knowledge and the wisdom to use it well. Consider these real-world examples. A business leader might have knowledge about market trends, financial management, and operational processes. But wisdom helps them understand when to take risks, how to inspire their team, and how to navigate complex ethical decisions. A parent might read numerous books about child development and parenting techniques, knowledge, but wisdom helps them understand what their individual child needs in specific situations and how to adapt their approach accordingly. An artist might have extensive knowledge about techniques, materials, and art history, but wisdom guides them in creating works that speak to people's hearts and express meaningful truths about the human experience. Knowledge helps us understand the world around us, while wisdom helps us navigate it effectively. Knowledge tells us what is possible. Wisdom helps us understand what is appropriate. Knowledge can be measured and tested, while wisdom often reveals itself through the quality of our decisions and the impact we have on others. As we move forward in our lives, both knowledge and wisdom play essential roles in our development. Knowledge gives us the tools we need to engage with the world effectively, while wisdom helps us use those tools in ways that create meaningful results and positive impact. The journey of developing both knowledge and wisdom is ongoing. It requires curiosity to learn new things, humility to acknowledge what we don't know, patience to develop understanding over time, and the willingness to learn from both successes and failures. While knowledge can be acquired relatively quickly through study and practice, wisdom often develops more slowly through experience, reflection, and the application of knowledge in various contexts. In conclusion, while knowledge and wisdom are distinct, they are both essential for human development and achievement. Knowledge provides the foundation upon which wisdom builds, while wisdom gives knowledge its meaning and purpose. Together, they enable us to not just understand the world, but to navigate it with skill, purpose, and positive impact. As we continue to learn and grow, cultivating both knowledge and wisdom helps us develop into more capable, effective, and understanding individuals. Innovation versus tradition. As we rush toward the future, one of humanity's greatest challenges is finding the right balance between innovation and tradition. This tension shapes everything from technology and culture to personal relationships and social structures, raising fundamental questions about how we progress while preserving what's valuable from the past. Innovation represents the drive for change and improvement, the creation of new solutions, methods, and ideas that push boundaries and challenge existing norms. It's the force behind technological advancement, scientific discovery, and social progress. Innovation brings us new tools, fresh perspectives, and better ways of solving problems. Consider how innovation manifests in various fields. In technology, it creates new devices and systems that transform how we live and work. In medicine, it develops new treatments and understanding of human health. In art, it generates new forms of expression and ways of seeing the world. Innovation drives progress by questioning assumptions and seeking better alternatives. Tradition, on the other hand, represents the accumulated wisdom and practices passed down through generations. It includes cultural customs, social norms, proven methods, and shared values that have stood the test of time. Tradition provides stability, identity, and a sense of continuity with the past. Traditional practices often carry deep meaning and practical value. Consider traditional cooking methods that preserve both cultural identity and nutritional wisdom, or traditional crafts that maintain both artistic heritage and sustainable practices. These traditions connect us to our history and provide tested solutions to perennial challenges. The relationship between innovation and tradition is complex and often misunderstood. While they might seem to oppose each other, they actually work best when in dialogue. Innovation builds upon traditional foundations, while traditions must adapt to remain relevant in changing times. This interaction plays out in various aspects of life. In education, traditional teaching methods combine with innovative technology and new understanding of how people learn. The best educational approaches often blend time-tested principles with modern tools and insights. In business, companies must balance established practices that work well with innovative approaches that keep them competitive. Successful organizations often maintain core traditions while innovating in strategic areas. In architecture, new buildings might incorporate traditional design elements and proven construction principles while using modern materials and sustainable technologies. This creates structures that honor heritage while meeting contemporary needs. The modern world presents unique challenges in managing this relationship. Rapid technological change can make traditional skills seem obsolete, yet often these skills contain wisdom that remains valuable. Globalization brings different traditions into contact while also spreading innovations quickly across cultures. Environmental challenges require both innovative solutions and traditional wisdom about living sustainably. Digital technology creates new ways to preserve and share traditions while also potentially threatening their practice. People often struggle with several common challenges when navigating this dynamic. 1. Resistance to change despite clear benefits of innovation. 2. Loss of valuable traditions in the rush to modernize. 3. Difficulty determining which traditions to preserve. 4. Uncertainty about how to combine old and new approaches. 5. Fear of losing cultural identity through modernization. Finding balance requires developing several key understandings. First, recognizing that neither innovation nor tradition is inherently superior. Each has its place and value depending on the situation. Second, understanding that successful innovation often builds upon traditional foundations rather than completely rejecting them. Third, appreciating that traditions can evolve while maintaining their essential value and meaning. Fourth, recognizing that some traditional practices might need to be preserved even as we innovate in other areas. Practical applications of this understanding can enhance various areas. In personal development, we can combine traditional wisdom about character and relationships with innovative approaches to learning and growth. In community building, we can preserve cultural traditions while embracing new ways of connecting and organizing. In problem solving, we can draw on both traditional knowledge and innovative thinking to find optimal solutions. The modern context offers unique opportunities and challenges. Technology can help preserve and share traditions while also creating new ways of doing things. Social media and digital platforms can connect people interested in both innovation and tradition. Global communication allows different cultures to share both traditional wisdom and innovative ideas. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. Developing frameworks for evaluating when to innovate and when to maintain tradition. Creating systems that preserve traditional knowledge while encouraging innovation. Building bridges between traditional practices and modern needs. Understanding how to adapt traditions without losing their essential value. The relationship between innovation and tradition also affects how we view progress itself. True progress often comes not from completely rejecting the past, but from building upon it thoughtfully while addressing new challenges and opportunities. Consider how this plays out in different fields. In medicine, innovative treatments often draw on traditional healing wisdom while employing modern scientific understanding. In environmental conservation, traditional knowledge about ecosystems combines with innovative technology to protect natural resources. In arts and culture, new forms of expression often incorporate traditional elements while speaking to contemporary experiences. The key to managing this relationship effectively lies in several approaches. Respectful innovation that acknowledges and learns from tradition. Thoughtful preservation of valuable traditional practices. Creative adaptation of traditions to meet modern needs. Open dialogue between innovators and traditionalists. This balance becomes particularly important in addressing global challenges. Climate change requires both innovative solutions and traditional wisdom about living sustainably. Social justice movements often combine traditional values with innovative approaches to creating change. Economic development needs to balance innovation with preservation of cultural heritage. In conclusion, innovation and tradition are not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of human progress. By understanding their relationship and finding ways to work with both effectively, we can create positive change while preserving valuable heritage. This balanced approach allows us to move forward thoughtfully, building a future that honors the past while embracing new possibilities. Digital versus analog. In our rapidly evolving world, the interplay between digital and analog experiences shapes not just our technology, but the very way we interact with reality. This isn't just about choosing between smartphones and paper books. It's about understanding two fundamentally different ways of experiencing and interacting with the world around us. Digital technology represents the world of precision and efficiency, where everything can be broken down into binary code, ones and zeros that enable rapid processing and perfect reproduction. Think about how this manifests in our daily lives. When we take a photo with a digital camera, we can instantly see the result, edit it to perfection, and share it across the globe in seconds. We can access vast libraries of information with a few taps on our smartphones, or connect with people on the other side of the world as easily as if they were in the next room. But analog experiences offer something entirely different. They represent the continuous natural world of physical existence, the world we can touch, feel, and interact with directly. It's the subtle grain of wood under your fingers, the unique way paint spreads across canvas, or the particular sound of an acoustic guitar reverberating in a room. These experiences flow smoothly, without the discrete steps of digital systems, often providing a richness and nuance that digital approximations struggle to capture. The relationship between these two realms creates fascinating dynamics across different fields. Take music, for instance. Digital recording offers perfect reproduction and endless editing possibilities, yet many musicians and listeners still cherish the warmth and character of vinyl records. It's not just nostalgia. There's something about the analog experience that speaks to our human nature in a way that digital precision, for all its advantages, sometimes misses. Photography tells a similar story. Digital cameras have revolutionized how we capture and share images, offering immediate results and unlimited attempts to get the perfect shot. Yet many photographers still choose to work with film, appreciating how its limitations force more thoughtful composition and how its imperfections can add character to images that perfect digital reproduction might miss. These dynamics extend into our personal relationships as well. Digital communication has made it incredibly easy to stay in touch with friends and family across vast distances. We can share our daily lives through social media, video calls, and instant messages. But there's still something irreplaceable about sitting across from someone at a coffee shop, reading their body language, and sharing the same physical space. The analog experience of direct human connection carries nuances that even the best digital tools can't fully replicate. The modern workplace demonstrates this duality perfectly. Digital tools have transformed how we work, enabling remote collaboration, automated processes, and unprecedented efficiency. Yet successful organizations recognize that these tools work best when they enhance rather than replace human interaction. The most effective teams often combine digital efficiency with analog connection, using technology to handle routine tasks while preserving face-to-face interaction for complex problem-solving and creative collaboration. In education, we see a similar pattern. Digital resources have opened up incredible opportunities for learning, giving students access to vast repositories of knowledge and interactive learning tools. But the role of hands-on experience and direct human guidance remains crucial. A student might learn basic concepts through digital modules, but understanding often deepens through physical experimentation, face-to-face discussion, and real-world application. The challenge we face isn't about choosing between digital and analog approaches. It's about understanding how to integrate them effectively. In healthcare, for example, digital technology enables precise diagnostics and efficient record-keeping, but the human touch remains essential for effective patient care. The best medical practices don't just use technology. They use it in ways that enhance rather than replace personal interaction. This integration becomes particularly important in creative fields. Artists, designers, and craftspeople increasingly combine digital tools with traditional techniques, creating new forms of expression that leverage the strengths of both approaches. A sculptor might use digital modeling to plan a piece while relying on traditional craftsmanship for the final execution. A musician might record tracks digitally while seeking analog instruments and equipment for their unique sonic characteristics. Looking toward the future, the relationship between digital and analog experiences will likely become even more nuanced. As technology advances, we're seeing efforts to make digital interfaces more intuitive and analog-like, while preserving the benefits of digital precision. Virtual reality and haptic feedback attempt to bridge the gap between digital capability and physical sensation. Yet these advances don't diminish the value of genuine analog experiences. If anything, they highlight the unique qualities that make analog interactions special. The key to navigating this dual reality lies in understanding that both digital and analog approaches have their place. Rather than seeing them as competitors, we can view them as complementary tools in our human experience. Digital technology excels at tasks requiring precision, efficiency, and scalability, while analog experiences offer depth, nuance, and direct connection that digital approximations can't fully replicate. In conclusion, the relationship between digital and analog isn't about choosing sides, but about understanding how to leverage the strengths of each approach. By thoughtfully integrating both digital and analog experiences, we can create richer, more meaningful ways of working, creating, and connecting. The future isn't about digital replacing analog. It's about finding the right balance between these two fundamental ways of experiencing and interacting with our world. Order versus chaos. In a universe that seems to be constantly moving between order and chaos, we find ourselves trying to understand and navigate these fundamental forces. The interplay between order and chaos shapes everything from the cosmos to our daily lives, challenging us to find meaning in both structure and uncertainty. Order represents the predictable, structured aspects of existence. It's found in the precise orbits of planets, the regular beating of a heart, and the systematic way cells divide and grow. Order gives us comfort through its reliability and helps us make sense of the world around us. We see it in nature's patterns, the symmetry of snowflakes, the spiral of shells, and the organized complexity of living systems. In human society, order manifests through laws, systems, and routines. It's the schedule that guides our day, the rules that govern our interactions, and the methods we use to organize our work and lives. Order provides the framework within which we can plan, build, and achieve our goals. It gives us the stability we need to progress and develop. However, chaos presents itself as the counterforce to this structured existence. It's the unpredictable, the random, and the unexpected that introduces variety and possibility into our world. Chaos is present in the turbulent flow of water, the unpredictable path of a falling leaf, and the seemingly random mutations that drive evolution. It represents both challenge and opportunity, disruption and potential. The relationship between order and chaos is complex and interdependent. Rather than being pure opposites, they often work together in surprising ways. Consider how ordered systems can give rise to chaotic behavior, or how chaos can lead to the emergence of new forms of order. The weather, for instance, follows precise physical laws, yet produces patterns so complex they become unpredictable beyond a few days. In nature, we see countless examples of this interplay. Ecosystems maintain a delicate balance between stability and change, with both forces necessary for health and survival. A forest might appear chaotic in its diversity and random arrangement, yet underlying patterns of organization govern how species interact and resources are distributed. Even the process of evolution itself represents a dance between random mutations and the ordering force of natural selection. Modern science has given us new ways to understand this relationship. Chaos theory reveals how small changes can lead to large, unpredictable effects, while also showing us the strange attractors and patterns that exist within apparently random systems. Complex systems analysis helps us understand how order can emerge spontaneously from chaos, and how both forces are necessary for adaptation and growth. In our daily lives, we constantly navigate between these forces. Consider a creative process, whether in art, business, or problem solving. It often begins with a chaotic phase of brainstorming and exploration, followed by a period of organizing and structuring ideas. The best solutions often come from finding the right balance between creative freedom and organized implementation. The challenge many people face is finding their own comfortable relationship with order and chaos. Some lean heavily toward order, seeking to control and structure every aspect of their lives. Others embrace chaos, preferring spontaneity and flexibility. Yet most of us need both, enough order to function effectively, and enough chaos to adapt and grow. This balance becomes particularly important in different contexts. In business, companies need both stable processes and the ability to innovate and adapt. Too much order can lead to stagnation, while too much chaos can result in inefficiency and confusion. Successful organizations often find ways to create controlled chaos that encourages innovation while maintaining necessary structure. In personal development, growth often comes from challenging ordered routines with new experiences and perspectives. Learning requires both the structured acquisition of knowledge and the chaotic process of making mistakes and discovering new connections. In relationships, we need both stability and spontaneity. Too much routine can lead to boredom, while too much unpredictability can create anxiety and insecurity. Healthy relationships often find ways to maintain core stability while embracing elements of surprise and change. The digital age has brought new dimensions to this dynamic. Technology offers unprecedented tools for creating order, organizing information, scheduling activities, and controlling processes. Yet it also introduces new forms of chaos through information overload, rapid change, and increasing complexity. Finding balance requires understanding several key principles. 1. Recognition that both forces serve important purposes. 2. Flexibility in adapting to different situations. 3. Comfort with uncertainty while maintaining structure. 4th, ability to create order without becoming rigid. 5. Openness to chaos without losing stability. Practical applications of this understanding can help in various areas. In problem solving, knowing when to use structured approaches and when to allow for creative chaos can lead to better solutions. Sometimes we need to follow established procedures, while other times we need to break free from conventional thinking. In personal organization, finding the right balance between routine and flexibility can increase both productivity and satisfaction. This might mean maintaining core habits while allowing for spontaneous activities and adjustments. In crisis management, Understanding how to restore order from chaos while learning from disruption can lead to more resilient systems and better responses to future challenges. The modern world seems to be experiencing increasing levels of chaos, from climate change to social upheaval to technological disruption. Yet within this chaos, new forms of order are emerging. Understanding this dynamic can help us navigate change more effectively and find opportunities within challenges. As we face the future, the ability to work with both order and chaos becomes increasingly important. Rather than seeing them as opponents, we can understand them as complementary forces that each play crucial roles in development and growth. This perspective allows us to appreciate stability while remaining adaptable, create structure without becoming rigid, embrace uncertainty while maintaining direction, find patterns within apparent randomness, build systems that are both stable and flexible. In conclusion, order and chaos are not enemies to be defeated, but partners in the dance of existence. Our task is not to eliminate one in favor of the other, but to understand how they work together and find ways to use both effectively. By embracing this balance, we can create more resilient, adaptive, and successful approaches to life's challenges and opportunities. Choice versus destiny. Are our lives predetermined, or do we truly have the power to shape our future? This question has fascinated humans throughout history, creating a profound tension between our sense of free will and our awareness of forces beyond our control. The interplay between choice and destiny shapes not only how we view our lives, but how we approach our decisions and understand our place in the universe. Choice represents our capacity for free will, the ability to make decisions and take actions that affect our lives and the world around us. It's the power we feel when we stand at a crossroads, weighing options and selecting our path forward. Choice gives us a sense of agency and responsibility, suggesting that our actions matter and that we have some control over our destiny. When we make choices, whether small daily decisions or life-altering selections, we exercise this fundamental human capacity. It might be choosing a career path, deciding to start a relationship, or simply selecting what to eat for breakfast. Each choice carries with it the weight of responsibility and the promise of potential consequences. Destiny, on the other hand, represents the forces that seem to guide or determine our lives beyond our conscious control. It includes the circumstances of our birth, our genetic inheritance, the historical era we live in, and the countless factors that influence our life's direction without our input. Destiny suggests that there might be a predetermined path, or at least limitations to our choices. The relationship between choice and destiny is complex and often paradoxical. While we make choices every day, these choices occur within constraints we didn't choose. We don't choose our parents, our native language, or many of the early experiences that shape our personalities and opportunities. Yet within these constraints, we still make decisions that significantly impact our lives. Consider how this plays out in different aspects of life. In career paths, someone might feel destined for a particular profession based on their talents and circumstances, yet still make crucial choices about how to pursue and develop their career. A naturally gifted musician still chooses how to develop their talent, where to perform, and how to balance their artistic pursuits with other life goals. In relationships, we don't choose who we're attracted to, but we do choose how to act on those attractions and how to build and maintain relationships. The initial spark might feel like destiny, but the work of building a lasting relationship comes down to daily choices. In personal development, we may have natural tendencies and predispositions, but we choose how to work with or against these inclinations. Someone might have a quick temper by nature, but can choose to develop patience and self-control. The modern world brings new dimensions to this ancient question. Technology and social changes have expanded the choices available to many people, while also revealing new forms of determination through algorithms, social media influence, and economic systems. We have more options than ever before, yet sometimes feel less free to choose. This tension creates several common challenges. 1. Analysis paralysis, when too many choices lead to difficulty deciding. 2. Responsibility anxiety, wondering if we're making the right choice. 3. Regret over paths not taken. 4. Uncertainty about how much control we really have. 5. Balancing acceptance of circumstances with the drive to change them. Finding a productive relationship with both choice and destiny requires developing several key understandings. First, recognizing that both forces play a role in our lives. Some things we can control, others we cannot, and wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Second, understanding that our choices matter, even if we don't have complete control. The decisions we make shape our experience and influence others, even within constraints. Third, appreciating that destiny or circumstances can provide opportunities rather than just limitations. Sometimes what seems like a constraint can become a unique advantage or source of growth. Fourth, accepting that uncertainty is part of the human experience. We can't always know the full consequences of our choices or what destiny has in store. Practical applications of this understanding can help in various areas. In goal setting, we can work with both our circumstances and our choices, understanding our starting point and limitations while actively choosing our direction and efforts. In dealing with setbacks, we can balance acceptance of what we can't control with proactive choices about how to respond and move forward. In relationships, we can acknowledge the role of timing and circumstance while taking responsibility for our actions and choices in building connections. The modern context brings specific challenges and opportunities. Technology offers more choices than ever before, but also creates new forms of determination through algorithms and digital influences. Global connectivity expands our options while also making us more aware of the circumstances and systems that constrain our choices. Social media can make us more conscious of both our choices and the role of chance or circumstance in others' success or failure. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. Developing healthy decision-making processes that acknowledge both choice and constraint. Building resilience to handle both the responsibility of choice and the uncertainty of destiny. Creating supporting systems and relationships that help us navigate major life decisions. Understanding how to work with rather than against the circumstances we face. The relationship between choice and destiny also affects how we view success and failure. When things go well, do we credit our choices or our luck? When things go poorly, where do we place responsibility? A balanced view helps us learn from both successes and failures while maintaining a healthy sense of agency. Modern science adds interesting perspectives to this discussion. Neuroscience suggests that many of our decisions are influenced by unconscious factors, while quantum physics raises questions about determinism and probability at the fundamental level of reality. These insights don't resolve the philosophical question, but add new layers to consider. In conclusion, rather than seeing choice and destiny as opposing forces, we can understand them as complementary aspects of human experience. Our lives are shaped by both the circumstances we're given and the choices we make within them. By understanding and working with both forces, we can navigate life more effectively and find meaning in both our power to choose and our connection to forces larger than ourselves. Growth versus decay. The cycle of growth and decay represents one of the most fundamental rhythms in nature and human experience. This eternal dance between development and decline, creation and breakdown, shapes everything from individual organisms to civilizations, from personal relationships to natural ecosystems. Understanding this dynamic helps us navigate both the opportunities and challenges that life presents. Growth embodies the forces of development, expansion, and progress. It's the sprouting seed becoming a towering tree, the child developing into an adult, the small business expanding into a corporation, or the spark of an idea growing into a movement. Growth represents potential realized, capabilities expanded, and possibilities becoming reality. In nature, growth appears everywhere we look. Plants reach toward the sun, animals develop from infancy to maturity, and ecosystems expand their complexity and diversity over time. This biological growth follows patterns that reveal deeper truths about how development occurs, the importance of proper conditions, the role of nurturing, and the need for resources to support expansion. But equally natural and necessary is decay, the breaking down of what exists, the return to simpler forms, the release of resources back into the cycle of life. Decay isn't just an ending. It's often a transformation that makes new growth possible. The fallen leaves decay to enrich the soil, making way for new growth. Old ideas break down, creating space for new understanding to emerge. The relationship between growth and decay is intricate and essential. Neither exists without the other, and together they create the conditions for life's continuation and renewal. A forest demonstrates this perfectly. While some trees grow tall and strong, others decay, providing nutrients and space for new growth. This constant cycle maintains the health and vitality of the entire ecosystem. Consider how this dynamic plays out in human experience. Our bodies grow and develop through childhood and adolescence, reach maturity, and then gradually experience the effects of aging. Yet even as physical decay begins, other forms of growth, wisdom, understanding, emotional maturity, can continue throughout life. In society, we see similar patterns. Civilizations rise and fall, but each contributes to the growth of human knowledge and culture. Technologies advance while older systems become obsolete. Yet this very obsolescence often drives innovation. Economic cycles of growth and recession create rhythms of development and renewal. The modern world brings unique perspectives to this relationship. Medical advances help us understand both growth and decay at cellular levels. Environmental challenges highlight the importance of sustainable growth. Digital technology creates new patterns of development and obsolescence. Social changes reveal how cultural ideas grow and fade. Different fields demonstrate this dynamic in various ways. In education, learning involves both growth in knowledge and the decay of outdated understanding. In business, companies must manage growth while handling the decay of obsolete products or methods. In agriculture, farmers work with natural cycles of growth and decay to maintain soil health. In technology, rapid growth of new systems accompanies the decay of older ones. Personal development particularly illustrates this relationship. Skills grow through practice while unused abilities decay. Relationships strengthen through nurturing or weaken through neglect. Knowledge expands while some memories fade. Habits form and dissolve as we change and develop. The challenge for many people lies in working effectively with both forces, recognizing when to pursue growth and when to accept decay, managing personal and professional development sustainably, finding opportunity in times of decline, building resilience through understanding natural cycles. The modern context presents specific challenges. Rapid technological change creates pressure for constant growth. Environmental issues demand understanding of decay's role in sustainability. Economic systems often prioritize growth over natural cycles. Social media highlights growth while often hiding natural decline. Different cultures approach this dynamic differently. Some emphasize continuous growth and progress. Others recognize the wisdom in natural cycles. Many traditional practices honor both growth and decay. The future relationship between growth and decay faces new questions. How to maintain sustainable growth in a finite world. Ways to work with natural cycles in modern contexts. Balancing development with necessary decline. Understanding this relationship affects how we approach various situations. Personal development. We can pursue growth while accepting natural limitations. Learning includes both expanding knowledge and letting go of outdated ideas. Emotional maturity involves understanding both progress and loss. Professional life. Organizations need both growth strategies and decay management. Careers involve both development and transition. Innovation requires both creating new solutions and retiring old ones. Social progress at communities develop through both growth and renewal. Cultural evolution includes both advancement and letting go. Social movements grow while others naturally decline. Environmental awareness. Ecosystems require both growth and decay for health. Sustainable development works with natural cycles. Environmental protection considers both preservation and natural change. The digital age brings new dimensions. Virtual spaces create new patterns of growth and decay. Digital information seems permanent, yet requires constant renewal. Online communities form and fade in unique ways. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. Understanding sustainable growth in a finite world, working with natural cycles in technological contexts, finding balance between development and limitation. The relationship between growth and decay also affects how we set goals, recognizing natural limits while pursuing development, understanding cycles in planning, accepting both progress and setbacks, handle change, seeing opportunity in decline, finding growth in challenging times, working with natural transitions, build relationships, nurturing connections while accepting changes, understanding relationship cycles, managing both development and dissolution. In conclusion, growth and decay represent not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of life's natural rhythm. Success in many areas comes from understanding and working with both processes, knowing when to pursue growth, when to accept decay, and how to find opportunity in each phase. As we face increasingly complex challenges, this understanding becomes crucial for sustainable development and balanced living. Permanence versus impermanence. What endures forever, and what fades away? This question touches the heart of human experience, shaping how we view our lives, our relationships, and our impact on the world. The tension between permanence and impermanence influences everything from our personal choices to our grandest ambitions, from how we build our cities to how we preserve our memories. Permanence represents what lasts, the enduring, the eternal, the unchanging. It's the mountain that stands unmoved for millennia, the mathematical truth that remains constant across time and space, the fundamental laws that govern our universe. We seek permanence in our monuments, our institutions, and our legacies, trying to create something that will outlast our own brief existence. Consider how humans strive for permanence in various ways. We build structures meant to last centuries, create art intended to speak to future generations, and establish institutions designed to carry forward our values and knowledge. This desire for permanence often drives our greatest achievements and most ambitious undertakings. Yet impermanence surrounds us at every moment. It's the changing seasons, the passing clouds, the fleeting emotions that color our days. Everything from our physical bodies to our mental states exists in constant flux. Even mountains slowly erode, continents drift, and stars eventually burn out. This transient nature of existence brings both anxiety and beauty to our experience of life. The relationship between permanence and impermanence creates fascinating dynamics in different aspects of life. In relationships, we seek lasting bonds while navigating changing feelings and circumstances. In art, we try to capture momentary beauty in enduring forms. In science, we search for unchanging laws amid constantly changing phenomena. Modern technology brings new dimensions to this ancient dynamic. Digital information seems permanent, yet requires constant maintenance and updating to remain accessible. Social media captures fleeting moments but can make them feel oddly eternal. Our ability to record and preserve experiences has expanded dramatically, yet the sheer volume of what we save can make individual memories feel more transient than ever. Consider how this tension manifests in various fields. Architecture demonstrates this relationship dramatically. Buildings aim for permanence, but must adapt to changing needs and conditions. The most successful structures often balance durability with flexibility, creating spaces that can endure while accommodating change. Education faces similar challenges. Knowledge evolves constantly, yet certain fundamental principles remain unchanging. Teachers must help students acquire lasting understanding while preparing them for continuous learning and adaptation. The natural world provides countless examples of this interplay. Rivers remain in place for millennia, while their waters constantly flow and change. Species persist through countless generations, while individual organisms come and go. Ecosystems maintain stable patterns through constant cycles of change. The digital age particularly highlights this tension. Data storage promises permanence, but requires constant updating and migration. Digital communications feel immediate yet often leave lasting traces. Virtual experiences seem ephemeral, but can have permanent consequences. This relationship affects how we approach various aspects of life. Career planning. Traditional paths promise stability, but require constant adaptation. Skills need regular updating while core competencies remain valuable. Professional relationships balance long-term connections with changing networks. Personal development character builds gradually yet requires constant attention. Values provide permanent guidance through changing circumstances. Growth comes through balancing stable traits with necessary changes. Artistic expression. Art seeks to capture fleeting moments in lasting forms. Creative work balances timeless themes with contemporary expression. Different media offer various degrees of permanence. Scientific understanding. Fundamental laws remain constant while theories evolve. Research builds on permanent principles through changing methodologies. Discovery involves finding unchanging patterns in changing phenomena. The modern world presents unique challenges. Environmental changes threaten seemingly permanent natural features. Technological advancement accelerates the pace of change. Global connectivity makes both permanence and impermanence more visible. Cultural perspectives on this relationship vary. Some traditions emphasize accepting impermanence, others focus on creating lasting legacies. Many seek balance between embracing change and preserving tradition. Looking toward the future raises important questions. How to preserve what matters in a rapidly changing world. Ways to build lasting value amid constant disruption. Balance between stability and necessary adaptation. The relationship affects how we approach problems. Long-term planning must account for both stable and changing factors. Innovation requires understanding what should change and what should remain. Sustainability means creating lasting solutions that can adapt to change. Personal relationships particularly highlight this dynamic. Love seeks permanence while navigating changing circumstances. Friendships endure through changing life situations. Family bonds remain while individual roles evolve. Memory and identity involve both elements. Core personality traits persist while specific behaviors change. Memories fade yet shape our lasting character. Personal growth balances consistent identity with necessary evolution. The built environment reflects this tension. Cities maintain historic structures while accommodating new development. Infrastructure requires both durability and adaptability. Public spaces balance preservation with evolving needs. In conclusion, permanence and impermanence represent not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of reality. Success in many areas comes from understanding how to work with both, knowing what to preserve and what to let go, how to create lasting value while adapting to change, and how to find meaning in both the eternal and the ephemeral. As we face an increasingly dynamic future, this understanding becomes ever more crucial for building lives and societies that can both endure and evolve. Simplicity versus complexity. When do we simplify, and when do we embrace complexity? This fundamental question shapes how we approach everything from daily decisions to grand challenges. The relationship between simplicity and complexity isn't just about choosing one over the other. It's about understanding when each serves us best and how they often work together in surprising ways. Simplicity represents clarity, directness, and essential elements, stripped of unnecessary complications. It's the elegant solution that solves a problem with minimal components, the clear explanation that makes complex ideas accessible, or the streamlined process that achieves results efficiently. Think of a well-designed tool that accomplishes its purpose with minimal parts, or a concise explanation that illuminates understanding immediately. The beauty of simplicity appears in many forms. In design, it might be the clean lines of modern architecture or the intuitive interface of a popular app. In communication, it's the ability to convey complex ideas in clear, understandable terms. In lifestyle choices, it might mean focusing on essential activities and possessions while eliminating distractions. Complexity, on the other hand, represents the rich interconnections, nuanced relationships, and intricate systems that make up much of our world. It's the ecosystem with countless interdependent species, the global economy with its myriad connections, or the human brain with its billions of neural pathways. Complex systems often exhibit emergent properties that couldn't be predicted from their simple components alone. Consider how complexity manifests in nature. A single cell might seem simple at first glance, but it contains incredibly complex biochemical processes that maintain life. Weather systems emerge from countless interactions between air, water, land, and solar energy. Even human emotions, which we experience directly, arise from complex interactions of psychological, biological, and social factors. The relationship between simplicity and complexity often reveals itself in unexpected ways. Sometimes what appears simple on the surface emerges from underlying complexity. Think of how a simple gesture of kindness might arise from complex emotional and social understanding. Conversely, complex systems can sometimes be understood through simple principles or patterns. In technology, this relationship plays out constantly. The most successful technologies often present simple interfaces that mask incredibly complex underlying systems. Your smartphone, for instance, offers simple, intuitive interactions while running on layers of complex hardware and software. The best designers know how to create simplicity from complexity. Science demonstrates this dynamic particularly well. Scientific theories aim to explain complex phenomena with simple, elegant principles. Einstein's E equals mc squared represents an incredibly simple equation that describes fundamental and complex relationships in the universe. The periodic table organizes the complexity of chemical elements into a simple, comprehensible system. The business world struggles with this balance daily. Companies need simple, clear goals and processes to function effectively, yet must navigate complex market dynamics and organizational relationships. Successful leaders learn to communicate simple visions while managing complex realities. Education faces similar challenges. Teachers must break down complex subjects into simple, understandable components while maintaining awareness of deeper complexities. Good education builds from simple foundations toward more complex understanding, creating frameworks that students can build upon. The digital age has brought new dimensions to this relationship. Social media platforms present simple interfaces that facilitate complex social interactions. Artificial intelligence uses complex algorithms to perform seemingly simple tasks. Big data analysis finds simple patterns in vast, complex datasets. The modern world often pushes us toward complexity. Global interconnections create complex dependencies. Environmental challenges involve complex systemic relationships. Social issues interweave multiple complex factors. Yet this same complexity drives us to seek simplicity. Minimalist lifestyles appeal as an antidote to overwhelming choices. Simple solutions gain value in complex environments. Clear communication becomes crucial in information-rich contexts. The challenge for many people lies in finding appropriate balance when to simplify and when to embrace complexity. How to create simple solutions without oversimplifying. When complexity adds value and when it creates unnecessary confusion. How to communicate simply about complex matters. Different fields approach this balance differently. Engineering seeks the simplest solution that adequately addresses complex requirements. Art might use simple elements to express complex emotions or ideas. Medicine balances simple treatments with complex understanding of human health. Psychology recognizes both simple behavioral patterns and complex mental processes. The future relationship between simplicity and complexity faces new challenges. Artificial intelligence might handle complex calculations while providing simple interfaces. Environmental solutions must address complex problems with implementable actions. Social progress requires understanding complex issues while creating clear paths forward. Personal development often involves both. Learning simple principles that help navigate complex situations. Developing clear values to guide complex decisions. Building simple habits that support complex goals. Finding peace amid life's complexities. The relationship affects how we approach problems. Simple solutions might solve complex problems. Complex understanding might lead to simple insights. Different situations require different approaches. Looking toward the future, several considerations become important. The need for simple, actionable solutions to complex global challenges. The value of understanding complex systems while creating simple interventions. The importance of clear communication about complex realities. Cultural differences add another dimension. Different societies may value simplicity or complexity differently. Cultural traditions might find simple expressions for complex wisdom. Global interaction requires bridging different approaches to complexity. The digital age brings special challenges. Information abundance requires simple organization methods. Complex technologies need simple user interfaces. Digital simplicity often requires complex underlying systems. Success in many areas requires understanding both. When simple solutions suffice and when complexity matters. How to create simplicity without losing essential complexity. When to dig deeper into complexity and when to simplify. In conclusion, simplicity and complexity represent complementary aspects of reality rather than opposing forces. The key isn't choosing one over the other, but understanding how they work together and when each serves us best. As we face increasingly complex challenges, the ability to find simple solutions while respecting underlying complexity becomes ever more crucial. The most effective approaches often combine simple actions or explanations with deep understanding of complex realities. Local versus global. In today's interconnected world, we find ourselves constantly navigating between local and global influences. The neighborhood coffee shop competes with international chains, local traditions blend with global trends, and our sense of community extends from our immediate surroundings to worldwide networks. This dynamic between local and global forces shapes not just our economy and culture, but our very understanding of where we belong in the world. The local sphere represents our immediate surroundings, the communities, traditions, and environments we can directly experience and influence. It's the farmer's market where we know the vendors by name, the local festivals that celebrate our community's unique heritage, and the neighborhood issues that affect our daily lives. Local connections give us a sense of belonging and direct impact. When we support a local business, we can see the immediate effects of our choices. When we participate in community events, we strengthen bonds with our neighbors and contribute to the fabric of local life. Global influences, on the other hand, connect us to the broader world. Through technology, travel, and trade, we participate in a worldwide exchange of ideas, goods, and cultures. Global perspectives expose us to diverse viewpoints, create opportunities for international collaboration, and remind us of our shared humanity. A student in a small town can take online courses from world-renowned universities. Artists can share their work with audiences across continents, and local businesses can reach customers worldwide. The relationship between local and global forces creates both opportunities and challenges. Consider food culture, for instance. Global trade brings us ingredients and dishes from around the world, enriching our culinary experiences and understanding of different cultures. Yet this same globalization can threaten local food traditions and farming practices. The most resilient food systems often combine both elements, preserving local agricultural traditions while thoughtfully incorporating global influences and techniques. Similarly, in business, successful enterprises increasingly need to think both locally and globally. A local craftsperson might sell their goods worldwide through online platforms while maintaining strong connections to their local community. Large global companies, meanwhile, often find success by adapting to local tastes and customs, creating a blend of worldwide standards and local variations. Cultural expression provides another fascinating example of this interplay. Local music, art, and traditions now reach global audiences, creating new fusion forms that combine different cultural elements. A local musician might incorporate influences from around the world while maintaining connections to their regional style. Traditional festivals adapt to include both local customs and global elements, creating celebrations that bridge different cultural worlds. Environmental concerns perfectly illustrate the interconnected nature of local and global issues. Climate change, for instance, manifests through local weather patterns and environmental changes, but requires global cooperation to address effectively. Successful environmental initiatives often start with local action, community recycling programs, urban gardens, local conservation efforts, while connecting to global movements and sharing solutions across borders. The digital age has transformed how we experience this local-global dynamic. Social media and online platforms allow us to maintain local connections while participating in global conversations. We can follow neighborhood news alongside world events, participate in local community groups while joining international discussions, and maintain connections with both nearby friends and distant colleagues. Education increasingly reflects this dual nature. Schools strive to prepare students for global opportunities while maintaining connections to local community and culture. Students learn about world history and global issues while also studying local history and participating in community service. This balanced approach helps them understand both their immediate environment and their place in the larger world. Economic development also navigates between local and global influences. Communities seek to attract global investment while preserving local character. Successful development often combines outside resources and expertise with local knowledge and needs. A new business district might incorporate international brands alongside local shops, creating spaces that serve both community needs and visitor interests. The challenge for many communities lies in maintaining local identity while benefiting from global connections. Some cities have found creative ways to achieve this balance, promoting local arts and culture while welcoming international influences, supporting local businesses while attracting global companies, preserving historic architecture while incorporating modern global design elements. Technology plays a crucial role in bridging local and global spheres. Local news outlets use digital platforms to reach broader audiences while maintaining community focus. Small businesses employ global e-commerce tools while serving local customers. Community organizations use social media to organize local actions while connecting with similar groups worldwide. The future of this local-global relationship will likely require even more nuanced approaches. As technology continues to shrink distances and blend influences, communities will need to find ways to preserve local character while embracing global opportunities. This might mean developing new forms of community engagement that combine physical and digital connections, creating economic models that support both local resilience and global participation, and finding ways to celebrate local identity within an interconnected world. Personal identity increasingly reflects this dual nature. Many people now feel connected to both their local community and a broader global culture. They might take pride in local traditions while embracing global trends, support local businesses while working for international companies, and maintain strong neighborhood ties while building worldwide networks. In conclusion, the relationship between local and global influences isn't a simple choice between one or the other. Instead, it's about finding ways to embrace both, to remain rooted in our local communities while participating in global exchanges. Success in our interconnected world often comes from understanding how to bridge these spheres, creating approaches that preserve local identity and strength while benefiting from global connections and opportunities. The future belongs to those who can navigate both realms, maintaining deep local connections while participating meaningfully in our global community. Logic versus intuition. In the complex landscape of human decision-making, two powerful forces guide our choices and shape our understanding of the world: logic and intuition. These complementary yet often conflicting approaches to understanding and navigating life represent different ways of processing information and making decisions. Their interplay affects everything from daily choices to life-changing decisions, from scientific discoveries to personal relationships. Logic represents our rational, analytical side, the part of us that carefully weighs evidence, follows systematic reasoning, and seeks clear, verifiable conclusions. It's the foundation of scientific thinking, mathematical proof, and structured problem-solving. When we use logic, we break down complex problems into manageable parts, analyze data methodically, and draw conclusions based on clear evidence and reasoning. Think about how a detective solves a crime, methodically gathering evidence, establishing timelines, and testing hypotheses against facts. Or consider how an engineer designs a bridge, calculating loads, testing materials, and following proven principles of physics and mathematics. This systematic approach allows us to build reliable knowledge, create consistent results, and understand complex systems. In our daily lives, logical thinking helps us make considered decisions about finances, plan projects effectively, and solve practical problems. When we compare prices, create schedules, or troubleshoot technical issues, we're employing logical analysis to reach reliable conclusions. This analytical approach provides a solid foundation for understanding and managing the concrete aspects of our world. Intuition, on the other hand, operates differently. It's our ability to understand or know something immediately, without conscious reasoning. Often described as a gut feeling or sixth sense, intuition draws on our accumulated experience and unconscious pattern recognition to provide instant insights. It's the flash of understanding that comes without step-by-step analysis, the sense of knowing that precedes rational explanation. Consider how an experienced doctor might sense something wrong with a patient before formal tests confirm it, or how a parent knows their child is troubled without being told. These intuitive insights don't come from conscious analysis, but from deep familiarity with patterns and subtle cues that we process unconsciously. In creative fields, intuition often plays a crucial role. Artists, musicians, and writers frequently rely on intuitive understanding to guide their work. A composer might feel the right note without analyzing music theory, or a painter might choose colors based on intuitive harmony rather than formal color theory. These intuitive choices often lead to powerful and original creative expressions. The relationship between logic and intuition is complex and fascinating. While they might seem to operate in opposition, they often work best in partnership. Scientific breakthroughs frequently begin with intuitive leaps that are then verified and developed through logical analysis. Einstein famously described how his insights often came as visual and muscular intuitions that he later translated into mathematical language. In business and leadership, successful decision-makers often combine both approaches. They use logical analysis to evaluate data and assess risks while trusting their intuitive understanding of people and situations. A business leader might analyze market data thoroughly before making a decision, but also trust their gut feeling about timing or strategy based on years of experience. Personal relationships particularly highlight the importance of both faculties. While we might logically evaluate compatibility factors like shared values and goals, our intuitive sense of connection often plays a crucial role in forming and maintaining relationships. Understanding when to apply logical analysis and when to trust intuitive feelings becomes key to navigating complex social situations. The modern world presents unique challenges in balancing these approaches. We have access to more data and analytical tools than ever before, potentially overwhelming our logical processing capabilities. Meanwhile, constant connectivity and information overload can drown out the quiet voice of intuition. Finding ways to use both effectively becomes increasingly important. Consider how this plays out in different fields. In medicine, doctors combine systematic diagnostic procedures with intuitive pattern recognition developed through experience. The best healthcare often results from balancing thorough analysis with experienced intuition about patient needs and conditions. In education, effective teaching requires both logical curriculum planning and intuitive understanding of student needs. Teachers must structure lessons systematically while remaining attuned to the unspoken signals that indicate student comprehension or confusion. In technology development, successful innovation often comes from combining logical technical knowledge with intuitive understanding of user needs and experiences. The most effective products balance technical precision with intuitive usability. The digital age brings new dimensions to this relationship. Artificial intelligence and big data analytics extend our logical processing capabilities far beyond human limits. Yet these tools work best when combined with human intuition about which questions to ask and how to interpret results meaningfully. Modern research in neuroscience and psychology provides interesting insights into how these two modes of thinking operate in our brains. What we call intuition often involves rapid pattern recognition and emotional processing in areas like the amygdala, while logical thinking engages the prefrontal cortex's executive functions. Understanding these mechanisms helps us appreciate how both contribute to effective decision-making. The challenge for many people lies in knowing when to rely on each approach. Sometimes logical analysis leads us astray by overlooking important factors that our intuition picks up on. Other times, intuitive reactions based on bias or incomplete information need to be checked against logical analysis. Learning to balance logic and intuition effectively requires several key understandings. First, recognizing that both approaches have value and limitations. Logic provides reliability and verifiability, but can miss subtle patterns or overcomplicating simple situations. Intuition offers quick insights and holistic understanding, but can be biased by experience or emotion. Second, understanding that different situations may call for different approaches or combinations. Emergency situations might require quick intuitive responses, while complex planning benefits from careful logical analysis. Third, appreciating that developing both capabilities strengthens our overall decision-making. Training in logical analysis helps us verify intuitive insights, while developing intuition helps us apply logical knowledge more effectively in real-world situations. The future relationship between logic and intuition will likely become even more important as we face increasingly complex challenges. Global issues like climate change require both careful scientific analysis and intuitive understanding of human behavior and social dynamics. Technological advancement needs both logical precision and intuitive insight into human needs and experiences. In conclusion, logic and intuition represent complementary ways of understanding and navigating our world. Rather than seeing them as opponents, we can view them as partners in human cognition, each contributing valuable perspectives and capabilities. Success in many fields comes from learning to use both effectively, knowing when to rely on careful analysis and when to trust our gut feelings. As we face an increasingly complex future, developing and balancing both capabilities becomes ever more crucial for effective decision-making and problem-solving. Reality versus perception. What is real, and how do we know? This fundamental question has challenged philosophers, scientists, and thinkers throughout human history. The relationship between objective reality and our perception of it shapes not only how we understand the world, but how we live within it and relate to one another. It's a distinction that affects everything from our daily experiences to our most profound beliefs about existence itself. Reality represents what actually exists, the objective truth independent of any observer. It's the physical world governed by natural laws, the actual events that occur, and the true nature of things beyond our individual interpretations. Think of a tree falling in a forest. Regardless of whether anyone is there to witness it, certain objective facts exist about that event. The physical movement, the vibrations in the air, the chemical and biological processes at work. But our access to this reality is always mediated through perception, our individual and collective ways of experiencing and interpreting the world around us. Perception involves not just our senses, but our mental processing, cultural frameworks, personal experiences, and biological limitations. When we observe that falling tree, our experience of it is shaped by our position, our sensory capabilities, our previous knowledge about trees and forests, and even our cultural attitudes toward nature. The relationship between reality and perception is complex and often surprising. Scientific investigation repeatedly shows us that reality can be very different from what we perceive. Consider color. What we see as a solid continuous hue is actually the reflection of specific wavelengths of light, with our brains constructing the experience of color from this physical information. Our perception creates a useful representation of reality, but it's not a direct window into the objective world. This dynamic plays out in countless ways in our daily lives. In social situations, different people can perceive the same event quite differently based on their perspectives, backgrounds, and expectations. A conversation that one person remembers as confrontational might be recalled by another as merely passionate or engaging. Both participants experience the same objective reality, the actual words spoken, the physical gestures made, but their perceptions created different meaningful experiences. Modern science has given us fascinating insights into this relationship. Quantum physics reveals a reality at the smallest scales that defies our intuitive perceptions of how the world works. Neuroscience shows us how our brains actively construct our experience of reality, filling in gaps and making predictions based on limited information. Psychology demonstrates how our perceptions can be influenced by countless factors, from personal biases to social conditioning. In the realm of human experience, the interplay between reality and perception becomes particularly significant. Consider how we experience time. While it may flow at a constant rate in physical reality, our perception of its passage varies dramatically depending on our situation and emotional state. A minute of meditation can feel like an hour, while an hour of engaging activity might seem to pass in minutes. The digital age has introduced new dimensions to this relationship. Virtual and augmented reality technologies explicitly play with the boundary between objective reality and perceived experience. Social media platforms create spaces where perception can become more influential than physical reality in shaping human interaction and understanding. These developments force us to reconsider what we mean by real experience. Cultural differences reveal how deeply perception shapes our understanding of reality. Different societies can have fundamentally different ways of categorizing and interpreting the same objective phenomena. What one culture sees as a natural cycle might be perceived by another as a linear progression. Even basic concepts like color categories can vary between cultures, showing how perception is shaped by collective human understanding as well as physical reality. This relationship has practical implications across many fields. In healthcare, doctors must balance objective medical data with patients' perceived experiences of their conditions. Effective treatment often requires understanding both the physical reality of an illness and how the patient experiences and understands it. In education, teachers navigate between the objective material they need to convey and students' varied perceptions and learning styles. Success often comes from finding ways to bridge the gap between reality and how different students perceive and process information. In communication and conflict resolution, understanding the role of perception becomes crucial. Many conflicts arise not from disagreements about objective reality, but from different perceptions of shared experiences. Resolving these conflicts often requires acknowledging and working with these different perceptual frameworks. The challenge for many people lies in navigating between respect for objective reality and acknowledgement of the power of perception. We need both: the ability to recognize and work with objective truth, and the understanding that human experience is inevitably filtered through perception. This becomes particularly important in several key areas. Personal relationships require us to balance our own perceptions with understanding how others see things differently. Successful relationships often depend on the ability to acknowledge different perceptual frameworks while working toward shared understanding. Professional situations demand awareness of how different stakeholders might perceive the same situation differently while still working toward objective goals. Effective leadership often involves managing these different perceptions while maintaining focus on real outcomes. Personal development benefits from understanding how our perceptions can limit or expand our experience of reality. Growth often involves challenging our existing perceptual frameworks and becoming open to new ways of understanding and experiencing the world. Looking toward the future, several considerations become increasingly important. The role of technology in mediating our perception of reality continues to evolve. As virtual and augmented experiences become more common, understanding the relationship between reality and perception becomes even more crucial. Global communication brings different perceptual frameworks into more frequent contact, requiring greater skill in navigating between different ways of understanding and experiencing the world. Environmental challenges require us to balance immediate perception with understanding of longer-term realities that might not be directly perceivable, but are nonetheless crucial for human survival. In conclusion, reality and perception exist in a dynamic relationship that shapes every aspect of human experience. While objective reality exists independently of our observation, our access to and understanding of it is inevitably mediated through perception. Success in navigating life often comes from developing the wisdom to work effectively with both, respecting objective truth while understanding the power and limitations of perception. As we face an increasingly complex world, this understanding becomes ever more crucial for effective decision-making, relationship building, and problem-solving.